Yo, yo, yo. What's up, good people? What's going on? I'm your man, Smitty. And what's going Testing. Oh, yeah. We had a little issue there. Little microphone oopsie. I'm your man, Smitty. Start this over again. We're joined by our very special guest, Homer Simpson, who is in the corner there. That's right. We can put a little Bart action if I remember how to do this. It's like that. Dots, boom. Bart looks a little snarky. There you go. We're joined by the Simpsons today. We've got news and notes. We've got rookie talk. Probably a good hour or two that we'll talk rookies. I decided to do the old judge and jury thing, which is pretty popular here on the show. So we will be doing a lot of that moving forward on the Fantasy Football Show Live. I think an entire hour will be dedicated to judging your trades, your questions, and I'm going to be judge, jury, and executioner. It will take it to that hour, I think, in hour 3. We got a delivery? Alexa, show me the front door. We're waiting on a keyboard. I've tried to...
Sorry, front door isn't responding.
Crap.
Please check its network connection and power supply.
We got everything going down today, so I think this keyboard will work. We have malfunction across the board on all things. So we're gonna use this keyboard. We got a new keyboard. We're gonna use the little mini keyboard today as we await the new Apple keyboard. Now my keyboard's working. I don't know what is going on. I did a system restart. Everything's shutting down. My mic wasn't working. My keyboard shot. Now I've got this keyboard I'm going to be using for a little while. And I've got a delivery coming. And I can't even see the front door to know whether to go get the delivery. Damn it. Okay. Judge My Trade will be a new feature moving forward. What's up, media? Homer Simpson, that's right. We're rocking the Homer Simpson. What's up? What's up, Leonardo? What's up, 49er Media? 49er Media is... that's not my rap, bro. That wasn't my rap. My rap's still coming. He's referring to a video that I did on Instagram that I think a lot of you will find pretty funny if you haven't seen it already. But Heisenberg makes an appearance on the Fantasy Football Show. Heisenberg makes an appearance right here. Let me show you.
San Francisco Rams, you know how I feel. We've got Trey Lance, motherfucking, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, a new day, and I'm fucking feeling good.
Heisenberg bringing the heat on the Fantasy Football Show Instagram page. Go check it out. That wasn't my rap though, media. My Trey Lance Trey to the Bay rap video is coming soon, and that is going to be phenomenal. If you think that's phenomenal, you wait until you see what my rap's going to be all about, media. You're going to lose your mind. What's up, bald guy? What's up, Mike? What's going on? I gotta set up your room too. Not so fast, bro. Not so fast. Where's my other camera? I've got everything's down. Everything is down. Good God. Okay, the printer is unplugged. Okay, we're good. What mic is this? Hold on. Is it supposed to be this? What is going on here? I don't have half of my cameras. I don't have half of what's going on. I've got 2 shots here. What the hell's going on? Disaster. Although I did make this amazing hat. And you can get these hats at smitty1.com. Not these particular hats. You get a custom hat. You tell me what you want on your hat, and we'll make the hat to order. I've made several hats so far for people. This one was my own. I put lamb on it. I put the logo on the front. I even put it through the washer. That's why it's wrinkly. Make sure it wouldn't come off. Everything's looking good with these hats, man. And this one in particular I like a lot, although this material is really hard to work with because it's bubbly. So I don't recommend using this, but it came out great for on camera. But at heysmitty.com is where you can order my text message service. Shameless plug. CD Lamb's where you can order top 5 wide receiver production if you're interested. And smitty1.com is where you can get a nice, shiny, new hat. Okay, so order those at smitty1.com and get my text service. Have me text you at heysmitty.com. Okay. Do we still got music? No, we don't. There we go. I'm so disorganized today. All right, what's up, Jack? What's up, Matt? Matt, I got a trade question. Matt can't wait. Matt needs help. Dynasty draft advice. You're the man. Okay, where's the question, Matt? Save it for hour 3, where we're judging your trade. We're judging your direction you're taking your team. We're doing everything live in hour 3. Smitty's judge, jury, and executioner. So hold your question if you can, actually. News time. News time. Media, I'll dial you up at some point, okay? News time. This right here, what's up, Voice of Reason? This right here is an interesting little number. Stephon Diggs played through a torn oblique during the Bills' 2020 playoff run, which is pretty impressive because Stephon Diggs looks phenomenal. Stephon Diggs is getting better. Stephon Diggs is arguably one of, if not the hardest working wide receivers in the NFL in terms of physical conditioning, mental preparedness, motivating himself, trying to get better, the desire and passion, standing on the field, watching other people when they accomplish things, and he wants to feel the pain. He wants to feel and absorb himself in the failure and the possibility of attaining what others are attaining. This man stands there and watches other people win in ceremonies and different things. This dude is going to get better and better. You don't want him dating your sister. That we know for a fact. That we know is a real thing. He was voted, I think, in multiple locker rooms, but definitely in the Vikings locker room, as the least likely guy you want to date your sister. It was like unanimous. Like, Stephon Diggs, hell no, I'm not letting him near my sister. So off the field, you know, he seems like he might be the kind of guy you don't want your sister dating. You know, I don't know what the reasons are for that. Probably more so because the man might be able to. He might be a little player. I don't know. But Stephon Diggs on the field is a player as well. And Stephon Diggs, if he does half as much as we believe he does off the field with sisters, we know this man is going to completely drop fire in 2021 and get even better. And Josh Allen is so good. Josh Allen is so good. And he's getting better. Diggs will get better. Diggs was a guy that didn't reach his full potential in Minnesota. And he hasn't even reached his full potential yet because Allen's getting better. As Allen gets better, this guy's going to get even more accurately thrown footballs to him. This guy's going to get more receptions and more opportunities. And I firmly believe he's so tough. I know there's some injury worry in some circles with this guy. I'm not too worried about it. I love his work ethic. I think he's made for it, man. He lives for this game. He's passionate about this game. His work ethic makes me feel like I can turn my back to a little injury concern. I believe that this man can be the number 1, number 2, or number 3 wide receiver in fantasy football. Of course, I feel that way about a lot of wide receivers. I love Jefferson. I think Jefferson's the surprise number 1 overall wide receiver finisher. I think CeeDee Lamb could get in that top 5. I'm not saying I don't like a lot of guys in that top 1 to 5. I do. I think there's a potential for a lot of surprise finishers in that top 5 this year. But I think if I'm on the clock in redraft and I'm sitting there at 11, 12, 10, and I need to go wide receiver for whatever reason, I don't like the running backs there. I'm sitting there staring Nick Chubb in the face, and I know all you Nick Chubb owners are like, Smitty, I love Nick Chubb. How could you say that about him? He's a beast. I'm avoiding Nick Chubb in 2021. I just am. I've made it clear why on a number of different shows. You can go comb through those. I'm not going to waste anyone's time anymore on why I am avoiding Nick Chubb at 8 or 9 or 7 or 6 or Henry at 5 or Henry at 4 or Henry at 7 or 6. I'd rather go the wide receiver running back route or the wide receiver, which can burn you if you don't land the proper running back in round 3. I admit it. I've done this strategy a ton in mock drafts, and I've walked out loving my team going wide receiver. I've walked out hating my team going wide receiver. So I don't prescribe everybody the wide receiver approach. I don't even prescribe it to myself full time, because I've landed some pretty crappy teams doing that. But I've landed some amazing ones too. If you can get, and especially early on in the offseason, probably far, far less likely, if not impossible now, but you could get, in early redraft leagues, which rarely happen because most dynasty leagues do occur in January through July, and most redraft leagues don't happen until August. So if it's like a best ball league or whatever, but Harris was going in like the 3rd round. Now Harris is being talked about now that he's in Pittsburgh. The landing spot's real. ADPs of rookies climb, especially the top running back. Now he's probably going at 2.10, 2.11, 2.12, and deservingly so. 3.1, 3.2. Like when you could get Harris in the 3rd round, wide receiver, Harris was the way to go. Now it's probably not likely unless you trade. Or if you have the 1.1, you can go Christian McCaffrey and then Harris and then, Ridley or something like that. Or if people are all on the Ridley train in your league, you go McCaffrey, Harris, and Justin Jefferson. Championship is how we play the game. But Diggs is becoming one of my favorite 11 to 14 overall picks. I love it. I love pairing him with like a DK. I like pairing him with, like an Aaron Jones would be okay. I'm not the biggest Aaron Jones fan in the 11 to 13, 14 overall range, but I don't know. I've come out with a couple good teams, with Aaron Jones on it, so I'm okay with it in 1 or 2 leagues. But I love Diggs. I think Diggs is phenomenal. Point is, dude's probably going to be totally ready to go, and there's some news that he played hurt, and dude looks fire. Chubb. I knew we were going to get this topic going here. We got Kenny. Chubb won't play 10 games. That's my take. Daniel says Chubb going for 2K this year. That's my fire. Okay. I mean, dude, anything can happen. But I'm staying away from Chubb. How are we feeling about Mixon? Bro, I don't know. I think I'm staying away from him unless he falls to like a crazy low, like undervalued range of 3.7 or something, and I've got to feel it, bro. On the clock, I still tend to like better players in the 3rd round. Doesn't mean I'm endorsing Mixon in the 3rd round this year. I'm endorsing him, but only in the 3rd round. If he climbs into the 2nd because people are all excited about freaking Giovanni Bernard being released, like that's not going to do it for me, man. That doesn't. I don't care about that. I care about the fact that they've said they're going to keep him on the field as much as possible. Good sign. They got offensive line help. Good sign. They drafted Jamar Chase to stretch the field. Amazing sign. Burrow now has all of those components to get better himself and move the football down the field. Moving the chains down the field is what it's all about. That will give Mixon wiggle room. If Mixon can't put it together now, he never will. This is Mixon's do or die year. But do you take him in the second round? You better not take him in the second round, or you are taking a mother freaking lap hardcore. Mixon's a mid-third to late third round pick, or you don't take him because somebody better, more reliable, more trustworthy, even in a much improved situation that I'm starting to like for Mixon, there's still better talent at 3.1, 3.2, 3. Grab Harris over Mixon. Are you kidding me? Grab JK over Mixon, even with JK having a little bit of risk. Grab Gibson over Mixon. Don't even consider drafting Joe Mixon over those guys. Looking for a sponsor. Just saying, bro. Energy. That's a good one. All right. Always smash against those guys. I don't even know what we're talking about, voice. How are we feeling about Joe? I got that question. I think we're caught up on questions. Okay. Now, next piece of news. Mike Davis. Okay. Falcons running backs coach. The door is wide open for any running back to start in 2021. No, it's not. I'm here to tell you he's wrong. Mike Davis is a superior running back there. I'm not saying I love it long term. I'm not saying Mike Davis will hold up for 17 games, especially you add in this extra game. And he broke down a little last year. We know that. We watched it. We watched it live. It happened. I don't know how I feel about Mike Davis long-term season. I know I don't buy into him. He's not a spring chicken, so long-term dynasty, there's not a ton of appeal. If you're in build, or win now mode, there's appeal. Or if you can get him super late in a dynasty, and you're stacking a bunch of good players up, then you need a now player, then I like him. But this is not going to be one of those situations where someone overtakes Mike Davis. Let me look at the depth chart even, just to let you know what names we're dealing with. Quadri Olsen, Brooks, James, Hawkins is an okay option. But he's 183 pounds. He's 5'8". I don't think he's taking over the job from a healthy Mike Davis. Now, if Mike Davis got hurt, that would be another story, and maybe one of these running backs becomes somewhat relevant. But Mike Davis is the goal line back. That's a very important aspect here, is that he's the only running back of these that has that goal line bruising, between the tackles type of value. Hawkins could be this year's James Robinson, says Voice of Reason. He's a small guy, though, man. I don't think he's taken over. Okay, I agree that he needs to be monitored. He needs to be drafted, for sure. Because if he got in there through injury, I think he would do okay. And anything's possible. Could Hawkins take over the job? Certainly possible. But if Mike Davis is healthy, Davis is going to play pretty good. We saw Davis do really, really well last year. And the most important thing is pass protection, receiving ability. In a Falcons offense, if you think about it, the running back on the ground he's not going to do his damage on the ground. The running back in Atlanta needs to catch the football. The running back in Atlanta needs to take advantage of touchdown opportunities when they're there. And this team with Julio, who I think will remain on the roster, we'll talk about him next, Ridley, Kyle Pitts, Mike Davis, Matt Ryan throwing the ball, fairly well, obviously. He's going to have a pretty darn good year, underrated year. No respect this man gets. No respect! And I don't even give it to him. And I'm not gonna, because there's too many other good quarterbacks. But you can't throw. I don't think you can throw a Hawkins in there. He can find his way in there through injury and be forced to learn quickly. But I don't think you're going to remove a guy that knows how to catch the football, has a nose for the end zone, can get 10 receptions in one game if you needed to feed him that many. He did it in Carolina, getting a version of Christian McCaffrey full course meals on the regular. So Mike Davis has proven that he can do all the things that an Atlanta running back needs to do to succeed. Hawkins hasn't. Hawkins probably won't. But in redraft, I'm okay with Davis. I'm okay with Davis being your crafty running back 2 if you stacked hardcore at wide receiver early. You took Mahomes early. You had this weird build where you've got a poor man's running back 2. Mike Davis fits the bill, baby, and I'd be okay with that kind of usage. But I just don't know if we're going to see what we're hoping out of him. But it might be pretty decent. Tim Tebow, good God. Urban Meyer drafting ETN, I think everybody that's trying to predict what's going to happen here, you don't know. You don't know what you're talking about. No one does. Because Urban Meyer drafted ETN, which I think is a good football move. I really do. And I think ETN's going to be great. And he's got a good quarterback. ETN's going to find his way to the top. He will. He's that good. He's that much better than James Robinson. Even though I love James Robinson, he's a good running back in a good situation that made James Robinson a good running back. And no one was drafting a presumed starter, James Robinson, in the first round, right? We're drafting him in the second. Some people in Dynasty letting him fall to the third, and deservedly so, obviously. James Robinson was a good running back in a good situation. There was no great there. ETN's a great running back in a good situation. And when he's plugged in, he's so good, he's so great that he could help turn his good situation into a great situation. So you've got Lawrence, who I think is going to be a top 5, top 6 quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is phenomenal. You've got ETN, who could be a top 5 to 10 running back in fantasy football and NFL football. And so having both of those talents in this lineup improves the situation so that it might become a great situation in 1 year. So my point here is this. You think Tim Tebow is not going to be used. Logic would tell you that the guy's been out of football for so long. How could he be used? Why would he be used? Where's the logic? Well, the logic isn't in play here. None of us felt like ETN was going to the Jags, man. So who the hell knows what's going to happen with this? Could they use him like Taysom Hill? It sounds like that's kind of what his role could be. And right here, Tim Tebow to make the Jaguars roster, he'll undoubtedly take on a role besides tight end. So, Taysom Hill, does he have the skill left? We don't know. May he be used very, very rarely, and we think he's going to be used a lot more? Sure. Could he get used and force the football? Sure. We don't know. We don't know what is going to happen. But I'm not drafting him in any leagues or anything, but he's someone to we'll keep tabs on this, and who the hell knows? Who knows what could happen? I'm not going to rule anything out at this point. A-Rod, looky here. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport. And let me say how disappointed I am in Schefter. Was it Schefter or Rappaport that broke the news on this on draft day? I think it was Schefter, right? Am I mixing the two up? I think it was Schefter. Very disappointed how whoever reported on this news, I think it was Schefter, that there was going to be a trade, or that Aaron Rodgers was not coming back. He was 0% chance of coming. There was all this stuff floating around on draft day, and Schefter reported on it, in my opinion, in a way that sounded like he had a source, man. And then he went on the Dan Patrick show and basically said that it was just accumulation of off-season stuff and observations and his feeling, and he wanted to drop it on draft day. I think this whole thing has been exaggerated to an extreme degree. Is Rodgers unhappy? Yeah, he is. Is Rodgers on the verge of not wanting to return to Green Bay? Probably. Is it unfixable? Should anybody in their right mind be tossing out 0% chance he won't come back? He's as good as gone. Bobby's, Billy's, Barbers, mamas, sisters, cousins, caretakers, pool man said that he's not returning. He's not returning. I've got it on good authority that the pool man is very dialed in. 47 degrees of separation from this thing. I can't give you a source, but A-Rod's gone. 0% chance he comes back. These are reckless numbers people are throwing around. There is no 0%. There is no 0%. Anybody saying that there's a 0% chance Rodgers returns, do not trust that source. Run from that source, because that is a dumb comment. That is a dumb stance to take. 0% without even having a one-on-one conversation with A-Rod. You're going to say 0% chance he returns? And I forget who said the 0%. I'm not saying that was Schefter or Rappaport. Somebody reported that. A couple people did. I think one may have come from ESPN or another big outlet, but I'm not positive. But to suggest that there's 0% chances of this, and this, unless you talk to A-Rod directly. And even then, even if A-Rod said, I'm not returning, how many times are you heated in the moment and you say you won't do something? I'm not doing that. I'm not talking to Bobby, to Susie Q ever again after she did that to me. How many times did people say that? And then, why are you throwing around 0%? Why are you throwing around 0%? Why is anybody throwing around 0% when it comes to a player returning like A-Rod to a place that he's come to know and love, and he has players around him that you can't build rapport with elsewhere? Hit the thumbs up on the way in. I'm 0% happy with 16 thumbs up right now when we have 40 to 50 people watching. 0% of me is happy with that number. My prediction, this is not 0%, 100%, call it a total guessing. I've been in the game a while, 19 years professionally, looking at this crap. My gut feeling is that this is fixable. James Jones, his own receiver, said that it's fixable. Green Bay doesn't want to trade A-Rod. Like, think about it. They signed Aaron Jones to an extension. A running back that's going to have a very short window of time. You can't go get a quarterback and develop him. Even if you were drafting one in this 2021 draft and you got the 3 pick from the Niners, you're developing a quarterback and you've got 2 years maybe of Aaron Jones, maybe. Like, you sign him to a longer deal, not realizing that he has literally like 2 years left, not 4. Probably has 2 years left. And, Adams isn't getting younger. Adams may not return. Adams would probably return if A-Rod returned. A lot is tied to this. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to really, if you're Green Bay, you're really going to send your quarterback, your top player, your franchise, everything. You've only had, some of you in the chat, if you're under 32 years of age, if you're 32 years old or younger, there have only been 2 quarterbacks for the Green Bay Packers during that time. If you're 29 years old and you're watching this, only 2 quarterbacks have ever played football for the Green Bay Packers during your lifetime. Your parents weren't even talking about having you. The candlelight dinner, the smoothie, like, none of that happened. That happened before Brett Favre. Literally, you were conceived in the middle of Brett Favre's rise, and then he played him and A-Rod for 32 years. It's insane. Green Bay does not want to get rid of A-Rod, and we kind of already know that. Why? Because Shanahan and the Niners called up the Green Bay Packers. This came from Shanahan's mouth. This is not me hearing it from the pool man that heard it from Bobby's sisters, brothers, hairdressers, cousins, mothers, caretakers, mistresses, best friends, uncle, step friend. No, this came from Shanahan. Shanahan called up the Green Bay Packers, said, hey, is A-Rod available? Can A-Rod play today? And they said, no, go away. And hung up the phone. Like literally immediately. There was like no conversation. Not available. Get out of here. Hung up the phone. They didn't want to trade him at all. They didn't even want to hear anything. And the Niners had the number 3 overall pick. If you're going to get rid of A-Rod, you want that number 3 overall pick. If the Green Bay Packers were going to trade A-Rod, like Coach Hugh Jackson, former Browns coach, said on my show last week, you would have traded him on draft day to get the 2021 draft capital. If you're going to start rebuilding, you're not going to wait until after the draft, do a trade for future picks, and start a whole year later. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? If you're rebuilding, you're going to get a jump on it right away. And some say, well, they didn't have time to make a trade. They had plenty of time to make a trade. This whole thing people think exploded on draft day was Schefter saying there's going to be a trade happening. Like these reporters using all of this hearsay and speculation that a trade's going to happen or the A-Rod's not returning. Like there wasn't a lot of, everyone thinks there wasn't a lot of time, but there was nothing there anyway. There's nothing there anyway. The Green Bay Packers picked up the phone and said, we're not trading him. Bye. So this whole, they didn't have time. If they were going to trade him, they would have traded him on draft day. Now, I'm not saying there's a 0% chance that A-Rod doesn't get traded. There is. What if this brews and becomes a bigger problem that festers, gets infected, and then June 1st comes and A-Rod's like, I'm not coming back. I don't care. And let's say Green Bay's, who I think would call his bluff. I believe that. But if they're like, you know what, let's move on. A-Rod said some really mean things to us behind closed doors. Stuff we aren't privy to. Things we don't know. There could be a reason Green Bay might go in this direction. We don't know. We don't have all the details. So there is a chance that a deal could still get done. But the odds are extremely against it, people. Stop worrying about it. If anything, do I think you put all your eggs in one basket and go after A-Rod in fantasy football trades? Do you go after Adams on the cheap? Do you go after Aaron Jones on the cheap? I would do it carefully. I would do it in like 1 or 2 of your 10 leagues. I wouldn't do it in every league because if something does break down, if something happens like I'm telling you can happen, I don't want to hear it later. Smitty, you're wrong about this. Everything's probabilities, people. Is there a probability somewhere, a small percentage, a medium percentage, a 10%, a 15% chance that A-Rod gets traded to Denver? Probably. There's like a 5, 10. I mean, we don't know the number, but I'm saying there isn't a percentage that exists. And if you flip a coin 10 times, you'll probably get a certain percentage, even, or if you're playing on a roulette wheel, there's a certain amount of times you're going to hit red. There's a certain amount of times you will hit the number 1. There's a certain amount of times you'll hit the number 7, double zeros, green. There are percentages. Do I tell you to go bet on 7? No. But is there a percentage chance that 7 will come up? Yes. So, again, a trade could happen. It could happen. But I'd err on the side of I could get these guys a little cheaper right now by freaked out owners. And A-Rod, especially if he goes to Denver, he'll be fine because he'll be throwing to Jerry Jeudy, who will be a top 10 wide receiver. If that happens, he'll probably be a top 10 to 12 wide receiver anyway. Little nugget there for you. The news. I haven't even got to the news. It's right on the screen. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reports that the Packers made a significant long-term contract extension offer to Aaron Rodgers. I've been saying this for over a week now, that I believe a deal gets done. I believe they offer A-Rod a bunch of money. They make him happy. They promise him this. They promise him that. They get him corn dogs at halftime because when they get him his own locker, they get him a wide receiver. They do whatever he wants. That dude wants, if he wants corn dogs at halftime, you give him corn dogs at halftime. Whatever A-Rod wants, you give him. If he wants to share custody of AB, you go get Antonio Brown. You do whatever the man wants. Do what Tom Brady commands. Go get Gronk. Go get AB. I might even want James White. Go get all these players. A-Rod needs to have some say. And you need, and if he's assured, hey, we're gonna involve you in personnel decisions, and we're gonna give you a big fat deal, and you get to play where you're comfortable. You get to play with your boy Devontae Adams, who he probably cares about, because A-Rod's a weird cookie. Like, he's a cool dude, a really cool dude, but he's a strange cat. You know, a lot of, you know, when his brother went on The Bachelor, like a strange family. Like, he's a strange guy. Hard to predict. Hard to predict what is going through his mind. And that leaves the opportunity or the percentage chance that he could be like, I'm out. I'm holding out. I'd rather, you know, host Jeopardy. I'd rather be the Jeopardy host and not play football ever again. Like, we don't know what's going on in his mind. Smart guy. Totally cool dude. The kind of guy you want to hang out with, you know. If you were just like chilling with he'd be one of the top players that you want to hang out with. But he is an odd bird, and you kind of gotta be when you're doing the things that he like. Elite players are strange, you know. Geniuses are strange. Very smart people are strange. But Aaron Rodgers just wants to have a say. You know, he wants to be like, hey, if you're gonna bring in a new coach or a coordinator, or you're going to make a decision about not drafting a wide receiver at all in 2020 and pass up Claypool, who I thought was the most wonderful fit for Claypool and the Packers together. Imagine Claypool on this roster. I was hyping it up all offseason long. Claypool to the Packers. Claypool to the Packers. Imagine if Claypool went to the Packers. He's exactly what A-Rod needed. You got Adams. Now you got this tight end / wide receiver, and you know A-Rod loves that type. And he would have made Claypool a freaking 10 to 12 TD star. And Claypool already looks good. He's an alpha wide receiver. Imagine Claypool on this roster. That's all A-Rod wants. He wants money, respect, and a say. And if Green Bay doesn't do it, they're morons. Corn dogs and corn dogs. There's probably going to be a rumor out there that he wants corn dogs now. Let's try and make that a thing. Smitty reported. I don't care if I'm even wrong on that one. I don't care if it gets back that Smitty was inaccurate. There were no corn dogs. I just want it to get out there. He wanted corn dogs at halftime. Tell everybody you know. They weren't giving him corn dogs. Colts could be among the potential trade partners for Julio Jones. Here's another one. This is another one. I'm going to send Grant this link. Grant, I'm going to send you a link in case you're watching. Join in anytime, my friend. And we'll get Grant on the show here. Grant, link incoming. No rush. Oh, God, this keyboard sucks. No rush. Join whenever. I don't think this is another one. I don't think Julio gets traded. I think Julio Jones is too old. He's too old for a team to give up a whole lot. And so that makes me think that it's more worth it to keep him for the Falcons. The Falcons have a good team. They're getting Pitts ready to take over as a big, you know, lion's share reception hog, and they need Julio there for right now. I think Julio Jones they wouldn't get enough, and I don't think he's getting moved. If anybody's going to trade for him, could it be the Green Bay Packers to keep A-Rod happy? I could see it maybe giving up way too much, trying to keep A-Rod happy. Like I said before, percentages. Is there a percentage chance that Julio gets traded? Yeah, a percentage chance, but it's a low percentage in my mind because the value on a 32, I believe, 30. How old is he? 32-year-old wide receiver, I believe. Julio, how old are you? 32. Yes, 32. 32-year-old wide receiver. He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons. He only played 9 games last year. He did play 15, 16, 16, and 14, and 16, and 15 the years prior. So while Julio Jones is actually, when you look at the numbers, been relatively healthy on paper, he's been banged up a big portion of his career. Questionable, not practicing, foot, questionable, foot. Like, people forget. I look at news wires all every week. I know a lot of you do too, but people that might not own Julio might not pay attention that year or pay attention that half of the year. He's always on the injury report, here and there throughout his whole career. So the foot issue is a concern, especially as you get older and you have an issue where they put a screw in and, things are kind of shaky with the foot. He's always got soreness with the foot. Who knows what the hell is going to happen as he gets older and older. I don't think a team's going to go acquire a guy that has potentially a foot issue at 32 years of age, who missed the biggest amount of chunk of games he's missed in his career last year and dropped off quite a bit. He did play really good during a stretch. He had 171 yards and 2 TDs. I'm sorry, not 170 yards. 137 yards and 2 TDs, 97 yards and 137 yards in like back-to-back games in week 6, 7, and 8, and he did have 157 in week 1. But he did pretty much nothing in weeks 2 and 4. And then in weeks 11 and 13, the only other 2 games he played, 39 yards, 94. So he's hit and miss, spotty year for him. 3 TDs. I think A-Rod, if he did land in Green Bay, A-Rod would change his touchdown production. We could finally get some TDs out of Julio probably, even if he missed games. But I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think A-Rod's going anywhere. Again, there's a percentage chance, so make sure you account for that and don't think I'm telling you to go bet the farm or trade everybody you have for these guys. All right. Next up, I think that's it for the news. Let me just refresh news wires real quick and let you know if anything's popping up. Hayden Hurst will still have an important role. Sure, buddy. And that's it. That's all she wrote for the news for today. And we'll get on to rookie talk until Grant joins us. I sent him a link. So we're going to get on to rookie talk right now. I've got a few things for you today. Number 1, I'm going to tell you about a guy who I think has moved to my wide receiver 3-4 for rookie wide receivers. That's right. I didn't misspeak. He is potentially my, I don't want to say number 3 wide receiver. I'll say 3-4. I'll say Waddle is still the 3, but if anybody's going to overtake Waddle on my rankings heading into August and kind of push Waddle down one spot, I feel like it's going to be Rondell Moore in Arizona. Look, I'll be honest. When I first evaluate the rookies in January, okay? I go through everything. And I look at the rookies and I look at all the film, I break down all the stats, I do all my statistical stuff with my eye test. I incorporate a lot of statistics in a lot of my analysis, especially rookies and coming in and looking at everything. And Rondell Moore popped off pretty good. Looked good. There was a string of games or a season where he looked good. Then he was really kind of banged up in that last. He's been banged up a couple times. And so there's reason to be like, okay, pump the brakes a little bit. He's a smaller guy. He's 5'7". He was listed as 5'9" before the pro day. So Rondell Moore is not 5'9". Bad news. Bad news came out that he's 5'7". That's even worse. Like that should hit his value a little bit. And that's kind of what concerned me. This guy's 5'7", looked great on film, had really good numbers, was injured multiple times. What were teams going to think about him? Where would he go? So when I did my rookie evaluation in January, February, I remember like bookmarking in my head. I did a bad job because I forgot to go back, but I'm like, okay, bookmark here, insert bookmark, Smitty. We're going to come back and relook at Rondell Moore because the upside is there to be a top 3 or 4 wide receiver from this draft class, but will teams believe in him? Will he land in the right spot? Can he stay healthy? What's he going to weigh in at? How tall will he be? because there were concerns that he wasn't, wasn't 5'9". And we'll go over to the, actually, no, we'll keep it here for a second. Okay, so Rondell Moore, let's talk about him. What do we know about him? Number one, I urge you, if you're capable of doing so right now, you're not driving or at work, pull up YouTube right next to this YouTube and watch a Rondell Moore video while you're watching my show. And we can talk about Rondell Moore. This dude looks like Steve Smith meets Antonio Brown when he's on the field. This dude has Maurice Jones-Drew, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you will, low center of gravity. There is an advantage for a person being 5'7", 5'9", 5'7". 5'7" is pushing it out. That's what made me uncomfortable in January, February when I'm doing my rookie wide receiver analysis. It makes me uncomfortable. He's only 5'7". But Tyreek Hill is a little guy. He's a speedster. Guess what kind of time this man Rondell Moore runs? 4.29. He's a 4.29 wide receiver, arguably the same speed or as fast as a Tyreek Hill. He's 5'7", built like a truck. He's not a skinny guy like Tyreek. Tyreek's cut and fit, but Rondell Moore, if you watch his film, is a big, stocky dude for 5'7". He benches, or actually, I forget how many times he benched the 220. It was an insane amount of times, but he squats over 600 pounds, more than a lot of linemen in the NFL. He squats over 600 pounds. He has, I believe, a 42-inch vertical, runs a 4.29, and if you watch his film, it's impossible to tackle one-on-one. His low center of gravity makes him so unbelievably fun to watch, and you can see him just completely throwing people off him left and right. And it wasn't like he just played bad competition. One of his best games, two of his best games were against two of the best teams in football. One of them was against Ohio State, and he tormented Ohio State. And a lot of those guys entering the pros because they're so good on the defensive side of the football, he made them look silly. And if you watch that Ohio State game in full, there's one particular play where he literally Mack trucks over one or two guys and blows through 3 or 4 defenders, finds an open receiving lane, and knifes through and takes it house. This dude is unbelievable in that you can get him the football. There can be 3 or 4 defenders around him, and he knows how to navigate space in a strange way, like kind of like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's kind of an innate instinct you can't teach a player. You give him the football. Where's my football? You give him the football, okay? There's 4 people around him. He knows how, like a magnet, to go toward the most open space he can and then choose to go to the next most open space he can. And before you know it, he sheds 1 or 2 defenders, and all of a sudden, a path that wasn't there opens up, and he literally takes it to the house. This guy's dangerous, as Kenny said. Great word to use. A weapon. Dangerous. Give Kyler Murray a chance to get more room and time to throw the football. If the Cardinals utilize Rondell Moore right away, and I think they will, I don't think anything holds him back from getting into that lineup. He's exciting. He's smart. He's so smart. So well spoken. And the dude got his 4-year degree in 2.5 years. And his last semester of playing football and going to school, he took double the workload in his final semester, took 27 credit hours. For those of you that forgot how many credit hours you take in college like me, you take about 12 to 15. You take a 15 credit hour semester, that's a heavy workload, and you're probably going to be really, really tied up and causes you to potentially fail classes when you're like taking too many classes. Like I remember taking 17 credit hours one time and I almost lost my mind. This guy took 27 credit hours in his final semester so he could graduate in 2.5 years, I believe with honors, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that part, but I believe he graduated with honors. You have to. If you graduate in 2.5 years, you've got to graduate with honors, right? I'm pretty sure he was with honors. There's nothing not to like except for that he's 5'7". His size is fine. He's 180 to 185 pounds at 5'7". He's a big dude. He's a Mack truck. So only his height is a concern. But let me pull up Tyreek Hill. How tall is Tyreek Hill? That's the only thing that makes me a little bit worried is his 5'7" stature. But even Tyreek Hill... All right, Tyreek Hill. Be something short, bro. 5'10". He's not 5'10". Tyreek Hill's not 5'10". Tyreek Hill's probably 5'9", 5'8". So it's not that big of a difference, especially when you consider that he's a lot bigger than Tyreek. He's a stocky dude. My point here isn't for people to go out and recklessly go draft this guy. I'm not telling you to go draft him as the number 3 wide receiver in rookie-only drafts. I'm not telling you to go take him in the top 5 of your rookie-only draft. I'm not telling you to go trade a really good, big-name, established player for Rondell Moore because you hear me talking about him and you're getting excited. I'm saying maybe, very decent shot that Rondell Moore is way better than people are expecting. His situation's kind of crafty good. How many years does Hopkins have left at the top? Maybe Rondell Moore's 3rd year. There's a potential even Steven type thing going on. That's possible. Hopkins isn't a spring chicken. Rondell Moore is in a good spot. Kyler Murray should be playing unless he retires early and goes and plays baseball, which, believe me, is probably more realistic than you think. The dude committed to play baseball, told the MLB, I'll be right back. I just want to go play one more year and finish out football. They drafted him in the 1st round, and he says, hold on, I'll be right back. He went to go get ice, and Kyler Murray never returned. Kyler Murray is capable of making a business decision, and if he keeps getting clobbered, which I think this will help him not get clobbered and beat up, then I think Kyler has a long career in the NFL. But Rondell Moore, crafty, super good, super electric. And to keep it in red, because we're talking about a player wearing red right now, here's my next guy that I'm just completely excited about. Colts don't have enough room. What are you talking about? Smitty does the 4th round. Wide receiver Fitzpatrick have a chance of being number 2 wide receiver in Tennessee? Sure. Fitz has a little upside. Ridley is also going into a contract year. You guys are having a separate conversation. He has vision, is what Smitty is saying. Love more in space. Dangerous. You can't. The Falcons don't have enough cap room to sign Pitts if they don't trade Julio. There's always room to ways to move money around, bro. Don't worry about it. Okay. Hopkins has 6 TDs. You think Moore is different? I think Moore can be, as a rookie, I don't know what to expect out of Moore. I think Rondell Moore could definitely have like one of those up and down rookie years where he's not going to compete with like Chase and being wide receiver, elite wide receiver 2 potential or something like that. Chase could be that good. Devontae Smith could be that good. I think he could give Waddle a run for his money in terms of yardage. I think he could finish as the 3rd or 4th best rookie wide receiver. I think that could be like 4 or 5 touchdowns as a rookie for the Cardinals. I think he could run for like, a touchdown, have like 50 to 150 yards on the ground. Rondell Moore at 2.4, I'm fine with that. Okay, so here's the next topic. This one I'm more excited about. I'm way more excited about this one than I am Rondell Moore. This is a league winner right here, people. This is a guy that can win you a league. If Trey Sermon gets into that lineup, which I believe he will, tell me you don't envision him in there at least 6 games, like 6-5. I can't picture him not starting 5 or 6 games. I feel like between Elijah Mitchell and Sermon, you're going to get 6 to 7 to 8 starts in 2021. And it makes it kind of a crafty duo to go get in Dynasty because you can get them kind of late in a startup. But Trey Sermon, to me, can win leagues. Trey Sermon, to me, is a really good run. Like, let's call him not elite, but we'll call him good to great. Okay? Every running back on that San Fran roster is not good to great. They're more like mediocre to good. And when you put a mediocre to good running back, Mostert's very good in a lot of categories, but overall, Mostert's probably not considered more than a mediocre to very decent running back, like a good running back. There is no great running back on that roster. There is now. Trey Sermon is great in a lot of ways. He's not maybe going to be a top 5 running back talent-wise in the NFL, but situation can close that gap. And sometimes an Arian Foster, who's not as talented as a LaDainian Tomlinson, Arian Foster has a situation that makes him equal to LaDainian Tomlinson. Arian Foster was every bit as good as LaDainian Tomlinson in fantasy football. They rotated, being who's better. People talked about all the time. Who's better? People talked about Sean Alexander. Alexander was really talented, but was he more talented than LT? Was Terrell Davis in Denver really as good as he was, or was that situation? Here's the thing. Everybody kept saying, Smitty, why are you talking about a running back going to San Fran before the draft? I projected it to be either Najee Harris, which I projected more than I did Sermon, to be fair, or it could be Sermon. I figured Sermon or Harris would end up in Arizona or in San Fran. And I got a lot of, why would the Cardinals draft a running back? Why would they just got Connor? Who cares about Connor? Why you focused on Connor? Connor, $1.4 million. They're not committed to him by any means. They would have been smart to draft a running back. But Harris or Sermon, or both, divided 1-1 and 1 to the other, felt like a lock to San Fran or the Cardinals in my mind. And even on my quad box appearance with my boys, my San Fran people, they didn't like the running back to San Fran idea at all. But my rationale was this, that you take the number 2 or number 3, number 1, number 4, whatever you think the Niners will be, system in the NFL in terms of running. Number 2, let's call it number 2. Number 2 or number 3, overall running back system, producing system in the NFL, and give it a mediocre to good running back. That's what you're getting. Why everybody's stopping there and saying, why do you need a running back? We got other needs. You already have a top 2, top 3 running team in the league. Why do you need a running back? Why stop at 2 or 3? Even if you were the number 1 rushing team, why stop there when you can amplify everything by putting in a running back that is great? If you put a running back in the system that is considered great, not elite, you're going to get even more. You're going to get even crazier numbers. So Trey Sermon will rise to the top, in my opinion. Trey Sermon will be a top 5 to 10 running back per start for as many games as he starts for San Fran. This is a league winner, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you win a league, because Trey Sermon in redraft will cost you literally nothing in the grand scheme of things. Trey Sermon is one of those guys that you draft in the middle rounds. You take your swing, you put him on the bench even for a while, and you realize 2 things. One, and I did this on Instagram Live. Sorry, Bart. Sorry, Homer. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Raheem Mostert. He's fast, he's agile, he's sleek, he looks speedy, pretty darn good. This right here is Jeff Wilson. A little bit more built to be an every down back, but he's still a utility guy. See how he's thin, he's not bulky, he can kind of maneuver around. But that's Jeff Wilson. This right here is Mitchell. I love Mitchell. He reminds me a lot of Mostert in that he's, you know, a smaller guy, but this guy's a little stockier. He's a little bigger, as you can see, and he can hold up a little bit better if he's asked to start. Now, I'm not ripping on Mitchell at all. I like Mitchell a lot. Okay, so that's what you got. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Trey Sermon. Meet Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon is just different. Trey Sermon floats to the top. Trey Sermon is the only running back that fits the mold that you see right in front of you. And while Wilson's got his advantages, Mostert's really speedy, this dude does it all, and he's built like a refrigerator. He's got speed, quickness, power. None of these guys do anything better than this guy, even at this size. The only difference is this guy's a little quicker, obviously, because he's probably one of the fastest players in the NFL. But you don't need that. You need that here in spots. You need that, you know, draw up the middle. I don't mind getting him, you know, 7 touches, 7 carries, 5 to 7 carries a game, and feed this man 12 to 15 times a game. That's fine by me. You can still keep Mostert involved. But this man, you give him 15, 16, 17 carries, this man is going to explode. He's powerful. He'll steamroll everybody. I don't think he's slow, J Problem. He's just not as quick. This man, this is the crafty pick. Trey Sermon can win you a league. Trey Sermon won't cost you a league. Trey Sermon won't cost you a league. But he can win you a league. Where you're buying Sermon isn't risky. Passing on him is very risky. That's all I got to say about that. Actually, no, it isn't. So, in a dynasty rookie draft, where do you draft him? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let me go ahead and move the running backs off the board here. And not everything's about 40 time, ladies and gentlemen. Not everything is about 40 time. There's football speed. There's acceleration. There's how fast you are inside rushing lanes, change of direction. And then there's teams like San Fran that even cater to not even worrying so much about speed. But if we're going with rookie rankings, let's say, let's do, I don't know if these will be, let's do overall. So 2021 rookie ranks. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You could argue Chase or Harris depending on your team need. Okay? I'm okay with either one. But to me, this is my opinion. There's no argument over the top two. These are your top two. They're interchangeable depending on need. I could get behind either. But these are your top two. You could almost even draw a tier break here. Not a big one because I do firmly believe that Devontae Smith is going to be this good. I think he could be better than Chase. It just kind of depends on the situation and depends on how he develops. And if I don't trust the Eagles as much as I trust the Bengals right now to turn things around. The Bengals are in a really good spot. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, in my opinion, Devontae Smith is my number 3. Now, you can get away with drafting him a lot later. I'm not saying don't take advantage of that. I almost say this is a, I don't know about a hard. No, let's put ETN in here. I like Williams a lot, but I don't know that Williams is in the same category as ETN. for me right now because I think the situation is really, really darn good for ETN for the long term. So this is a tiny tier break. I'll do a little dotted one, a dotted tier break, because I think Smith can, in time, get up here and be near as good as Jamar Chase. ETN, I suppose, could actually get up here too. This is why this is kind of like the... Oh, if we're going to include tight ends too, let's put... Where do we put Pitts? Crap. Because we're not just doing running backs and wide receivers. Let's do all overall rookies. So Pitts would be... Especially if you need a tight end. And then ETN. Which is amazing because what I'm trying to tell you here, so this is like your elite tier. It's all one tier. It's got tiny tier breaks in between. But it's one tier. ETN is capable of being the best player in this entire tier. The odds aren't amazing. Like there is some risk, there's situation, there's is he an every down back? Some would say. But this guy right here has the potential to be the number one player in this entire draft class. If you argue that, you're mainly just arguing it because you don't have him or you like someone better or something. Like, you can't sit there and say that's not possible. You could say, I don't think that'll be the situation or the outcome, Smitty. I'm totally behind that. But you can't literally with the straight face say that ETN, it's impossible for ETN to be the number one player in this entire draft class. That is just insanity to say it's not possible. To not like it, not predict it, it's one entirely different thing. You could say the same thing about every one of these players. That's why they're boxed into an elite category here. I don't think Javonte Williams is outside of this. It's not because I don't think he's talented enough. There's just a little bit more concern about, will he hold up? Is he, he shared carries. Is he going to come in and just be, as electric as like an ETN? I don't know. So he's kind of like outside, but he's capable of breaking into this tier. I don't think he's capable of being the number one because the situation is still foggy for 2021. I think long term it could be good, but he's outside the tier. He's outside the tier. And I venture to say, and this is a 1 QB, just so people know, 1 QB, it would be very different if it was Dynasty. I'm sorry, Superflex. But this is where you start to argue, is Carter my number 7, my number 6, 7, is he arguable in this range? Because I think he is. I think he's such a value because he typically goes in like this range. Carter, you can get Carter at 10, at 9, and I love him. I think he's fantastic. He's fantastic. I want to put quarterbacks here, but I'm much more of I'd rather get a running back. I'd rather get a wide receiver I truly believe in. And this may seem insane to people, but I have Sermon right here. I don't draft him there. You don't have to draft Sermon here. You probably have to draft Sermon. I would say his draft value is probably, his range is probably like right here down into the 2.1 to 2.5 range. This is probably where you're going to find Sermon. You might find him at 11 or 12 overall, according to some people. Some people are going to get excited. Some people are going to get really excited about him. Don't be shocked if people start taking him in this range, especially if they watch my show. But Sermon is my number 7 or 8 overall rookie. My personal rankings, where I have them, not where you draft them, where I have them. Sermon's that good. So, what do I do from here? Let's see. We got Sermon, we got Carter, we got Williams, we got ETN, we got Harris. We have no quarterbacks yet. We have no Waddle. We've got Pitts in there. It's like it's open season right here. Many will say Waddle. I kind of feel like, if it's one QB, I could understand Waddle here. And some people like him as the top wide receiver. Then I think it's time to put Lawrence here. Put the Law Dog. I think you can put Wilson. I think you could put Lance. That's kind of where I would go. I think you can contemplate a lot of people here. You can contemplate Fields if you wanted. Fields for me isn't in my first round. I don't like Fields. I don't like Fields as much as I like the other quarterbacks. I think Fields can become Kirk Cousins good. I mean, he plays different than Kirk Cousins. I can't think of a better example because he has running ability, and I'm using a player that plays completely different. But I'm saying value-wise, like Tua or Kirk Cousins, I don't see drafting Fields in the top 6 or 7 in fantasy football quarterbacks. Whereas I do think there's a strong possibility you're drafting all 3 of these guys, or at least 2 of them will become top 7 fantasy football QBs. Lance, there's no ceiling on Lance. Lance could be a top 5 quarterback, or he could struggle to pick things up and not be as good as any of us thought. I don't think it'll go that way. I think it goes the way that he's a top 5 to 7 fantasy football quarterback. Wilson could be a top 5 fantasy football quarterback. Law, I think, T-Law is definitely going to be a top 1 to 6 quarterback. So I just don't feel Fields is in that range. I think Fields is more along the lines of a maybe 8 to 14 overall quarterback. And that's not going to be anybody that I'm drafting in the first round when you've got these other options. Rondell Moore. So 13. I got all these lines everywhere. I don't even know what they mean anymore. So, 13 overall, 14 overall, 15 overall, 16, 17, 18. I'm probably rolling with if I forget anybody, let me know, because I'm trying to spitball this. But I'm going to go Rondell Moore. And I very badly want to say that he could be this good. So Rondell Moore is a value grab. I probably like, I guess Bateman. I would say Elijah Moore. You could say Gainwell. Fields. I know you're gonna hate this ranking, guys. I'm sorry. I know all of you are gonna be very upset at me. So we have Terrence Marshall left, Tony left, T. Marshall, and Tony. And who else would be there? We got Elijah Moore, Chuba Hubbard, Mac Jones. So Mac, Hubbard, and St. Brown. They're kind of all right there. Like I didn't mean to leave. Can't even read that. St. Brown, Mac Jones, Chuba Hubbard, T. Marshall, Tony. We ran out of spots, but that's kind of how. Amari Rodgers even. We could throw any of those guys out fighting for that like 16 to like 22 spot. So the guys that stand out as potentially could be the number one player at their position Obviously. 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 I'm going to underline him. I don't think it's obvious, but he could. Carter's not number one in his position, but Carter could be sneaky. This isn't crazy. I don't think he'll be better than Harris or ETN. But in that Niners system, he could be. There's a certain odds that he could be. So my whole point here is when you look, I mean, these guys obviously number one at their position. You could argue this, but I'm going to underline him, not circle him. This guy stands out like a sore thumb. Yeah, Brown, you could put Brown in there. League winner. League winner, low cost of entry, huge upside, league winning potential. Absolutely love Sermon in 2021. Absolutely love Sermon in Dynasty. I love that you can get him super late. Let's go ahead and look at this from a super flex perspective. Super flex is hard. Super flex is really hard because everybody's different. Super flex. Am I going to do any paid leagues with Arizona people? I don't know that they'd be specific to Arizona. We'll do a meet and greet in Arizona. Where are you at? Phoenix? I forget. Sorry if I don't remember. You in Tempe, Chandler, Phoenix? Okay, let's do Superflex. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll be doing some leagues, but we'll see. I got a lot of leagues coming up. A lot of best ball. We'll do a ton of best ball leagues. Okay, number one in a super flex probably going to be T Law. I've got Harris and Chase as 2 and 3. I'm a little bit different when it comes to Prescott. Cool. I'm a little different when it comes to super flex. I can't pass on these values, and I typically, because of the way I build, I don't necessarily need quarterbacks like everybody else in Superflex because I invest heavy in the position early on. So context matters here. Do you have no quarterbacks on your roster? How do I do what in Arizona? Meet and greet? I'll just announce where I'm going to be. I did a contest at sports bars, and you guys meet at the sports bar and do like a promotion there, do a live stream there, do a whole live stream. We did a whole live stream from a local sports bar in 2019 before COVID, and did like a contest, did like a pick'em giveaway with the bar. It was pretty fun. So probably do something like that. As far as leagues, you'll just have to stay tuned, especially to my Instagram, which is The Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. Just the same handle I have here on YouTube, The Fantasy Football Show. Go follow me on Instagram, and make sure you keep an eye out for the leagues. I'll be announcing like spots and openings. And obviously not everybody's going to get in, so I can't give them away in here. You're just going to have to fight for them when they get announced. Okay. So Harris and Chase, kind of the unusual 2 and 3, because I think most people do go quarterback. You could go Lance or Wilson here. I'm okay with either. I love both of them. I think Smith or Pitts here. Or D Smith. I'm going to put him as a tie because I can't in good conscience have Smith go past 6. So D Smith and Pitts. A lot of people are going to have Fields here, but I'm not. I'm going to have ETN. And Williams. Then I'll go Fields. Probably a lot of the reason would be to trade him. I don't even know if I go Mac here. I think I'd rather have Carter. I'd rather have Sermon. Mac. Then we're back to the same, I don't think Trask or those guys bump out like Rondell Moore and Bateman and all those guys too much. So it's kind of the same look. Harris doesn't go that early in Superflex. It depends, Mike, on your league. That's the one thing people don't, I think, realize is that Superflex is different depending on your league. Some people have IDP leagues that they think are the normal for IDP, and they're not even close to the next guy's IDP league. Superflex, like redraft and dynasty 1QB, pretty similar. Like you can find an ADP that can kind of paint a picture. There might be some discrepancies. Your league might draft QBs early, and you live in a world where you think that Mahomes and Josh Allen don't go in round 2 or 3. They go in like 10 to 14 overall, and that would be your league. Like you live in a different world. Superflex is the one format where you can't paint, like it's so hard to do Superflex overall rankings. You can do them individually, obviously, but if you do Superflex overall rankings, you're going to run into so many discrepancies in terms of value and how leagues value guys, because sometimes it'll be 5 straight quarterbacks, Mike. At other times, you won't even see a difference. There are so many people that I give advice to. They have the HeySmitty.com, which you can order at any time. HeySmitty.com. Order it. Text me. HeySmitty.com. I get so many people that text me on HeySmitty.com, Mike, that say, hey, my rookie draft's coming up, Smitty. Who do I take at number 3? And you know what I don't say to them, Mike? I don't say, hey, take so-and-so, because I don't know the context yet. So I'll ask them, what happened last year? What traditionally is the order of a rookie draft for you? And they might say, I've had people tell me this over and over all off season, bro. Harris goes 1, Chase goes 2, Lance goes 3. Maybe 2 quarterbacks will go in the top 6, Smitty, but quarterbacks don't go heavy in the Superflex. They just don't. And that's the trend that gets set in that league, and that will almost forever always be the trend. And then other leagues, people tell me that it's like 4 or 5 straight quarterbacks. So completely depends on your league, bro. Completely. I would not say that on average Harris goes later than that. I would say that in my mind, that's where I go. On average, he might go, I think 2, 3, maybe 4, but there's a range there. I wouldn't say that that's abnormal. I'd say that it's literally 2 to 4 on average, because everyone's Superflex is different. I'm not passing on Harris at number 2 in a Superflex, but I'm also not building, and a lot of my people will be the same, but everybody's going to have different needs. But I'm not building a Superflex team to where I'm in dire need of a quarterback. I have at least one really good quarterback. I'm a big advocate of people drafting Mahomes, Josh Allen, Herbert, elite quarterbacks earlier than the average channel. And so you're going to find my advice, and a lot of my followers will have quarterbacks, and they won't be rolling with a Stafford only or something like that. So the context matters. If you don't have any quarterbacks at all, and you're number 1 in the Superflex or number 2, you got to go T-Law or Wilson, because you have no other choice. D2W says he hasn't seen Harris go past pick 3. So it's all different, Mike. But I get, like, in your drafts and what you're seeing might be the case every time that Harris goes at 3 or 4 every single time. That would not surprise me, Mike, at all. It wouldn't surprise me one single bit. IDP's worse. You almost can't give blanket advice in IDP. IDP's crazy. What's up, Elgin? J-Prob, a lot of the problems they've had the last year, pit O-line has changed. Guys were out. Connor is gone. James says, our rookie draft ended last week. A guy is offering me Zach Wilson for next year's first and second round picks. Don't worry about a second round pick when you're talking about future picks so much. No. If you don't need Zach Wilson, you maybe entertain it, but try and trade for now value. Don't be like the Packers where they miss out on the now. If they trade A-Rod now, it's, they don't get to partake in the number 3 overall pick and crafting their team in this draft class. If you're trading Zach Wilson for future value that you won't use, what happens if the league closes down, James? Don't invest too heavily in the future. Play a lot for the now. Where is Grant? Are we gonna have to fire Grant? Let's see here. What's up, big dog? What's up, Elgin? What's up? What other news is out? Let's check it out. Ooh, here's some new piece of news. New piece of news. Let me get it on screen. Kind of a perfect topic for what's going on right now. It's not crazy, but it's entertaining news. Najee Harris, the Athletic, believes that there is no reason to think, as speculation piece, no reason to think that Najee Harris won't push 275 touch mark as a rookie. Yeah, like obvious comment, but it's nice to see other people posting on it, I guess, just because it's fun and relevant. But Najee Harris, why is this camera so low? There we go. There we go. Najee Harris, though, I will say, is looking very, very likely to be top 5 in rushing attempts as a rookie. That's what makes him so valuable and attractive, even in redraft. Do I worry about the offensive line? Yeah. Do I worry about Big Ben? And one of the bigger topics, I still have Trey Sermon on screen. Let's talk about this guy. What do you guys think of Deontay? Probably the most... look at Mike with the super. Attaboy, Mikey boy. Appreciate you, Mike. Thanks, Mike. And I didn't mean to come off like you were wrong on your Najee Harris thing, bro. Like, you're right. In a lot of circles, Najee doesn't go early. And I like it. I like being in those drafts. Deontay Johnson. Let's talk about Deontay. Mike, since you just super chatted, kind sir, I would like to put your comment on screen. So what do you think about Deontay? I'm anxious to hear. I would like to hear what a lot of you think about Deontay. Do you think Deontay has wide receiver 1 appeal? He seems to be the most talked about wide receiver of the wide receivers that are very, very high risk to be to earn their draft value. And the funny thing is, I find that a lot of people that are in these stat-driven communities, not that I hate to even say that because it almost sounds like I don't use stats when I say that, but there are statistical fantasy football minds out there that don't use anything but statistics to drive data. They use a little bit of eye test, but I'm like a 80% eye test, and I use a lot of stats in collaboration with that. But Deontay Johnson, to me, feels like a very, very big risk because he's going oftentimes in a place where you're counting on him maybe dropping super high-end wide receiver 2 numbers, and I think he has the capability of not, dancing in the wide receiver 3, in and out of the wide receiver 3 value. Do I see wide receiver 2 potential? For sure. Like, he's got a lot of talent, but Big Ben is not getting younger. Big Ben's probably not going to throw the football more than he has in the past. They're going to lean on Najee Harris. They just drafted Najee Harris. They're going to run the football a ton, and they may not move the chains as much if they don't get it done on the ground, which they could, but they may have trouble passing and moving the chains via the pass more than they have in the past because of the deterioration of Big Ben. There's Juju, there's Deontay, there's Claypool, who's the alpha dog there that's going to command probably most of the touchdowns and touchdown opportunities, at least like the jump ball stuff. Like, Deontay could get 5 or 6 TDs. I'm not saying he couldn't. He could have 1,200 to 1,300 yards. He could. But he could also completely disappoint and fall flat on his face. Struggles with drops. People call him stone hands. Kind of hit the bench for a little while last year unofficially. And there was a lot of concern about his place in this team in the pecking order. Like, it was like mid-season to late season or whatever. His pecking order was in question. Where he was in that order was in question. And why did I not move this? How are you going to learn to trust me with my finger pointing on what topic we're on if I don't do it? We're not even an hour. Yeah, we're still an hour 2. I apologize. I should have moved that earlier. We've been on news the whole time. How is that indication going to help you if I don't learn how to use it? And in the chat, yell at me. Say, Smitty, move the finger. Move the finger, Smitty. Son of a bee. I try and remember all this stuff, and I need a producer. I need Grant to be here in the studio, doing all this. That's his job. Where is Grant? Okay. What do you guys think of Deontay? Deontay could be a low-end wide receiver 2, probably. I think the pit O-line will be better. What do you guys think of Deontay? Deontay is at risk of the doghouse with his drops. Can he catch 100-plus balls? He's definitely capable of catching like 80, 90 balls, but I don't know that the situation is going to call for it. I don't know if Big Ben's going to be able to give him that kind of opportunity. I trade Deontay high. I like that Deontay's got a lot of value right now. I trade the man. Mike, what did you say, Mike? Did you give me your thoughts yet? You haven't. Mike, what are your thoughts on Deontay, bro? We're waiting for you. And again, we appreciate your super chat, my man. People defending a terrible O-line when it comes to run blocking. You got to educate your peeps, Smitty. J Problem. Everyone's got an opinion, bro. Deontay will shine. I have him around 18 to 20. Mike says top 20. Top 20 would put him around DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Julio, Thielen. But below Godwin and A-Rob and Ayuk and Evans and Allen, Keenan Allen and Galladay. I mean, if you're drafting him at wide receiver 3 value, I'm okay with that. I don't think I like him any higher than that. All right, we're gonna get into the hour. It's called. We're gonna do a little bathroom break. I'm gonna do a little break and put on the fantasy football show. Let's see. Do I even have it on here? 1 second. We're gonna do a 2-minute break. Don't go anywhere. Do I even have the video? want to play the Fantasy Football Show episode 3. Let's see if I can download it. But I'm gonna do a little quick break, and then we're gonna go into, then we're gonna go straight into, Judge Smitty, where I judge your trade. You got a trade that needs judging, I'll judge it for you. But I'm gonna download this video. Whoa. I gotta download this real quick, and then I'm gonna put it on screen. And then hopefully Grant dials in. Hit the thumbs up on your way in the door. Mike says he has Deontay at 21 exactly. Harris. How many carries do you think Harris has in 2021? Does anybody feel like Harris can lead the league in yards or touches or something? Like in one or two categories, could Harris be like low yards per carry maybe, or not low, but lower than some running backs, but lead the league in touches or something like that? Wouldn't surprise me if Pittsburgh leaned on him a ton. James says he sees Deontay finishing as a mid wide receiver 2. Definitely possible. But my only question for the people really, really high on Deontay is, what makes you think Deontay Johnson is going to be able to hold off Juju and Claypool and Harris now in an offense that probably will pass a lot less, run a lot more, and has a quarterback deteriorating? That's the only part that concerns me. Like, where's the upside and appeal? Where are people getting the confidence that Deontay will earn even wide receiver 2, even like low end wide receiver 2 value? This question was referring to Harris. Will Harris lead the league in some stat, like category of touches or carries maybe? Could he be like top 5 in touchdowns? Maybe. I like Harris a lot. Harris is growing on me more and more. Like, I did have Chase as my number 1 overall, like by far, right after the draft even. But as the days and weeks, and now, soon, it's been a month, as the weeks have unfolded, I'm starting to really, really like Harris at 1 if you need a running back at all. I'm torn, though. I like both. I think Harris and Chase are just, almost tied for me, and it depends on team need, essentially. But I definitely feel like I go back and forth. Okay, so Grant, I don't know where Grant is. We might have to fire Grant. We're not paying him, but we might have to fire him. Let's see, do I have the biggest downside is if he drops a ball or two, he gets taken out. Well, he's got stone hands according to some people. He's improved upon that according to other people. We saw him get better at catching the football, but I just don't see the volume for Deontay. The problem with vitamin water is it literally goes right through you. Like, you literally have to go to the bathroom after drinking one of these. Does anybody drink vitamin water? Does anybody have that issue with vitamin water? You drink one and you literally are about to piss your pants within 30 minutes. It's crazy. It's worse than water itself. I drink a Coke. I don't even think any of it needs to ever come out. It just gets absorbed into my body. Probably not a good thing. But you drink one of these, man, and you literally have to go to the bathroom so bad you almost piss yourself within an hour. What's up, Vic? Give Giggles a spot. Giggles, you might come in here shortly. I might get Giggles and Grant in here. Yes, that's all I drink and can confirm. I'm always in the bathroom. Bro, it almost makes me quit drinking it. Have you ever, Problem, have you ever almost stopped drinking it because you're like, I just can't handle having to almost piss my pants within an hour? It's it's bad. Especially if you drink one of these and you go out for a little while and you don't have a bathroom nearby, or you go to bed, drink one of these before you go to bed, you almost piss your bed within about an hour and a half. It's crazy. And it's like heavy. It's heavy. You got to go to the bathroom bad. It's not like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. It feels like 800 pounds of pressure. And like right now, I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Okay, so let me go ahead and close all these things here. I want to put this on a slight small break. For those of you that have seen this, I apologize. For those of you that have seen it, don't leave. Just watch it. Enjoy.
The fantasy football industry has been leveled by the pandemic, and the show must go on. I had to come up with different revenue streams, a different kind of product line. Think outside the box, man.
Okay, I wanted to get everybody on a Zoom call. For one, I wanted to introduce Tom, new member of the team.
Hey, Tom. How you doing? How you momming him?
Hello, I am Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Tom,
I hired Tom on for a number of reasons. Number one, he's got narcolepsy. I figure we can really use that. It gets us a special parking pass during NFL events. It puts me on a whole new level for discounts for things that I buy for the show.
we need to come up with a couple different revenue streams. Who has an idea?
I got one. Pick me, Smitty. I got one.
How many times do you want to sit down when you're standing? We developed the sit stand. Truth be told, I was pretty shocked when Grant came up with it. It's a brilliant idea. That's right. You sit while you're standing and no one knows it.
You're onto something. You're onto something. Tom! Tom!
Tom.
Tom!
I didn't think he'd drop in meeting one, especially during the conception of the sit stand. He was neither sitting or standing. He was laying on the floor during the conception of the product.
Tom!
Tom.
Shit!
Tom.
Tom!
Tom. Tom, you got to get
Tom.
up, buddy.
How are we going to be accepted in this new industry of wearable furniture if 1/3 of our team can neither sit or stand?
The first meeting!
Bless your heart, Tom.
Tom! How are we going to get Tom up? Tom!
Then I remembered during the interview with Tom, he had an Echo Dot.
He's got an Alexa!
Alexa, wake Tom up. Alexa, wake up Tom. Play Snapping is for Pimps by Smitty, a.k.a. Pimp Daddy.
Wake Tom
I'm sorry, I don't know the song. Snapping is for Pimps by Smitty. Would you like me to dial 911?
Alexa.
Wake Tom up!
Tom, get up. Get your ass up.
Alexa, hurry up. Wake him up.
You're probably asking, what in the hell is the sit stand all about? The prototype. Picture a bicycle seat with a broomstick on it inside your pant leg, and no one knows that you're sitting down. I give you the sit stand. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it live. Oh, yeah. Tom has become quite the burden at this point. We now dial up him and his Alexa on the Zoom call so we can communicate with Alexa directly when we need her to wake Tom up, because the dude passes out at least once or twice a meeting.
What's
I
on your
got an
hand?
idea.
Grant, what's on your hand?
Dirt.
Okay, where are you?
I'm at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Home of the
Grant,
Dallas
we've been
Cowboys.
over this. Grant, honesty.
The fabrication of where he is his backgrounds. It's getting a little out of control.
The fake Zoom backgrounds, you gotta stop with them.
What do you mean?
No.
Grant, you're not at AT&T Stadium. You don't live in they're filled. Grant,
No,
Grant,
I'm
Grant.
here. Look.
No way.
Grant, look at your
What?
hands. Grant, you're
What about it?
That won't work. I know what I'm saying. That will not definitely work. Niet.
Hello.
Grant, Smitty.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey,
Oh, just outside getting the mail.
You're-
Just about to go back inside.
that's not your house, Grant.
Yeah, that's my house.
Grant.
What do you mean?
Grant.
Smitty, I thought we worked through
I
this.
thought
It's not a fake background.
I thought we did work through it, Grant, but here
No,
we are.
I promise. I'm literally walking in the door.
Go,
as we
go
speak.
inside a random person's
go.
house.
Because getting arrested right now is exactly what we need for the brand at this moment.
Want me to prove it?
Yeah, prove it, Grant.
Okay. All right. What do you want me to do?
Go to the fridge, Grant.
Go to the fridge?
Yeah, grab a soda.
All right.
Grab a Coke.
What do you want me to do when I get to the fridge?
Grab a Coke, Grant.
Grant truly does think I'm a moron. We paused the video. We watched it back. You can see a balcony inside his living room or kitchen area. Who has a balcony inside their living room? Multiple balconies. This was not a real domicile.
All right. I'll get a Coke. Hang on. All right. Fridge.
Yeah, that's not a Coke, Grant. Nice try.
All right. Now that I got a Coke, what do you
You
want
don't
me to
have a Coke. You have an A&W root beer.
Okay. All right. I'll take a sip. Hang on.
Take a sip. Yeah, you take a sip, Grant. How's that taste? How's that Coke taste, Grant?
And I love the 150-foot ceiling he's got. It looks like he's inside the Titanic. The dude does know how to Photoshop. I will give him that.
You still don't believe me,
No,
do you?
gargle it, Grant. Why don't you gargle that Coke?
All right. Hang on.
Grant, I need you to focus. Grant, focus. What's going on with the mask order?
I found a guy, my supplier in Bangkok, said that he found the mask and we're good to go.
Nice.
One small problem.
Order them.
They're expired. So I don't know if you want me to order the mask, not order the mask. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Order them.
Okay.
No one can hear what you're saying when you have a mask on. So we came up with a beautiful idea. Putting a megaphone, a little speaker here, so you can amplify your voice when you're talking. We've ordered thousands of masks. We got a great deal on them.
I'll get him ordered.
Yeah.
I'm already getting a lot of virtual complaints on the hygiene of Grant. I'm pretty sure he lives out of his car. Tom, I want you to spend the rest of the week getting your feelers out on potential clients for the sit stand and the microphone mask. Grant, I'd like you to test the prototype all week in the sit stand specifically and see how it functions through about a week of your day-to-day. And Alexa, make sure that mask order is still good to go. It really feels like it's coming together, and I feel like everybody's completely on the same page.
According to my calculations, this idea is
Don't pimp snap at me. Snapping is for pimps. Don't pimp snap at me. Snapping is for pimps. Don't pimp snap at me. Snapping is for pimps. Don't pimp snap at me. Snapping is for pimps.
Yo, back from the bathroom break. Now it's time for, what are we calling this? Judge Smitty time. Hopefully you guys enjoy that show. I think it's pretty fun. This is Judge Smitty in session. Time to rule over your trade ideas, everything you've been working on, maybe some ideas you're concocting up. I want you to paste them into the chat, and I will rule over your scenario. So, Smitty, should I... All right. Let me have it. Let me have it. Number one question. This isn't a question for fantasy, but I'll answer it anyways. Rodgers, play this year? Where does Aaron Rodgers play this year? He's not getting, I'll rule on this from a trade perspective. He's not getting traded. The Packers would have made a trade, I think, on draft day if they were likely to trade him. Certainly some things could get worse, I think, and potentially you see A-Rod, make things difficult for that organization, and then they say, damn it, we should have traded him on draft day. We would have got now draft capital. We would have got the number 3 overall pick from the Niners. Could the Niners still make a deal? I mean, probably not. They're probably sold on Lance, but you never know. You never know. But I'm going to say, no, he doesn't get traded in 2021. Now, that doesn't mean he won't sit out, okay? But I think the Packers won't trade him. Next question. This one's from Matt. Matt, this is your question, right? Matt's been waiting all day for this question. Here he is. Matt, you've earned this, bro. You've earned this. Smitty, I traded 1.7, 2.1 for the 1.2 in my rookie draft. I now have the 1.1 and the 1.2. Don't overthink and take Chase and Harris? ? Thanks, Smitty. So he traded the 1.7, the 2.1 for the 1.2. Fantastic. Amazing trade. That's let's put this over here. Smitty, should I? There, we'll do that. Smitty, approve your trade, bro. Amazing. Now, do you take Jamar Chase and Harris and not overthink it? I mean, I would contemplate. If you needed wide receivers, you could go the Chase, Devontae Smith route. But you'd almost want to trade down because Devonta Smith is going nowhere near 1.1 or 1.2. But yes, to make it simple for you, I don't envision a world where I'm going to pass up the opportunity to have even the trade value of Harris. Even if I've got to trade somebody else off my roster because I can't even start, 3 of my 2 really good running backs and Harris being one of them. But it's an easy call. Jamar Chase and Harris. Don't overthink it. Try and trade up into that 1.6 or 1.5 to get Devontae Smith too, and walk out of this draft with Devontae, with Chase, and with Harris, because Devontae Smith is overlooked. Chase and Harris is not even a question. Next question by Kenny. Thank you for the question, Matt. Thank you for waiting patiently too. Should I trade Waller and Sanders for A.J. Brown or just trade Sanders for Lamb? Holy shit! You're confusing me now because you're talking about 2 really good ideas here. No, I don't trade. I'd rather have Waller and Lamb than I'd rather have A.J. Brown, bro. Like, Lamb is so good. Lamb is arguably, in my mind, as good as A.J. Brown in some ways. A.J. Brown's much more safe. Don't twist that up, people. I love A.J. Brown. He's top 5. But so is Lamb. Lamb's low-key top 5. A.J. Brown was low-key top 5 last year. Before all you fly off on a rant right now and lose your shit. I mean, if I told you last year that A.J. Brown was top 5, and, we talked about it all year, but you would have been like, I don't know about that. Just like people are saying, I don't know about Lamb. It's the same thing. It's the same path, the same trajectory. These guys will both be top 5. And if you do the Sanders for Lamb deal, you keep Waller. So if you were to trade Waller and Sanders for A.J. Brown and forego getting Lamb, that's a miss. That's a miss. You go get Lamb. Enough said. Try and get both, but you go get Lamb, bro. Nice job. Thank you, Matt. Here we go, Harris. What does this say? Jacob. I'm going to break this before long, but that's okay. It's what it's made for. We can glue it back together. Here we go, Harris. Here we go. Oh, I thought it said good until I enlarged it. Here we go, Harris. Here we go. Agreed. Where's my music? This. Maybe I could play that on... There we go. Okay. Next question. Voice of reason. How far does A.J. Brown drop for the Titans? I got to answer this within a minute and a half. That's what the whole timer is there for. So, pardon my interrupting your question. Let's restart. Every question gets a certain amount of time. That's it. How far does A.J. Brown drop if the Titans trade for Julio? Ridley survived. The Falcons throw a little more, so you got to factor that in. But Julio's also going to drop a little bit more this year than I think he did last year. Got to factor that in. It certainly isn't great. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's not going to excite me. Like, A.J. Brown's value doesn't go up if Julio lands there. Julio will consume enough target share that it could potentially put A.J. Brown back into a similar target share role that he had in 2020. And the problem with that is not every year is a guy like A.J. Brown going to be able to drop the efficiency that he dropped in 2020 with that low amount of targets. He was ultra efficient. So you don't want him to be getting that kind of target share situation going on. No, we don't want Julio. No Julio to Tennessee. JP wants to know, should I eat steak or chicken tonight? I like chicken, but chicken is not steak. Now, is it a flat steak? Is it a round steak? You know, one of those flat round steaks, like the kind you chop up into a burrito and it's really just beef. It's not steak, you know. Or, hey, go get a steak sandwich over at the place right on the corner. There's steak sandwiches on the corner. Smitty gets excited. I get all amped up because you know what? You can't find a good steak sandwich anywhere. There's a couple restaurants that might have a high-end steak sandwich, but no one sells a freaking steak sandwich. And then somebody goes, Smitty, they got steak sandwiches on the corner there. Go get one. I go there, it's Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak is not steak. Steak. Smitty, should I draft Deontay Johnson? Deontay Johnson is what he means to say. Or Chase Claypool. If you're asking me, Senior Smitty, I actually like Claypool a little more than Deontay. Number one, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like that. They're going to get real upset. But if you dial back the passing attack, if Big Ben doesn't throw as much, if Big Ben's not as good of a passer, guess who benefits the most? The guy that can go up and get an errant pass. The guy that's going to be the best 50-50 ball catcher. The guy that, if they're in the end zone, the red zone, they'll throw it up to this guy. Inaccurate passes heading these wide receivers' directions. One guy can't catch. His name's Deontay Johnson. He's got stone hands. Claypool. More TD potential. Why would anyone want any Steeler wide receivers? It's a good question. Because they produced last year. Because Big Ben did have half of a year where he looked pretty decent. Then the drop-off happened. The drop-off is real. The drop-off was quick. The Steelers fell off the map. The Steelers crumbled. Everybody acting like that division is so fire in 2021. Oh, yes, the Bengals can't do anything in that division. That's got Baker. Oh, yeah, he can't falter, right? Baker, touchdown maker. Like the Brown. Anybody can't envision the Browns stumbling after a nice year? I can. No one can picture Lamar Jackson stumbling when he was missing for half of a season. And no one can picture the Steelers stumbling when they vanished. Bengals. That's not even the question, but the Bengals are the sleeper team in the division. in that division. Matt says, Smitty, grade the young core after my top 2 picks. Mahomes, Clyde, Harris, Chase, Judy, Pittman, and Higgins. Okay, so you have a first rounder in a potential first round, or like a first rounder dynasty in Harris. You have a second rounder in Mahomes. You have a second or third rounder in Chase. You have a third or fourth rounder in Clyde. You haven't missed a beat with these guys. Judy is a top 10 to 12 fantasy football dynasty wide receiver that you don't need to pay that kind of price for, but I love Judy and I love him on your roster. Pittman's sneaky, Higgins kind of sneaky. I think you need one player. Don't trade the core, but you need maybe trade a future pick in somebody, but you need one extra player. I love Clyde and Harris. You got Chase and Judy. You got Mahomes. You just need one move. Higgins in a future first for a Jefferson. Somebody like that, bro. Lamb. Trade Pittman in a future first for Lamb, and then you are on your way, young man. I think it's more... No, that's not a question, Jay. Problem? Should I trade Pittman 2021 third and 2022 first for Hopkins in a dynasty? So Pittman 2020. Who cares about the third rounder? Get the third rounder out of there. No third rounders. Waste of space. 2022 first and Pittman for Hopkins. Yes. Go get him. Like, I mean, if you get Hopkins, Tyler, is your team going to be a cellar dweller team? If so, why go get an aging veteran that has 2, 3, 4 years left if your team sucks? So I'm assuming, Tyler, that you're using your noggin and you have a chance to make this a really bad pick. Hopkins. Easy. As always, Smitty, love your content. Approved. Approved. We need a question. Why you guys stop asking questions? Now's your chance. As always, thank you. Yeah, saw that one. Best steak sandwich. Slow cook slice tri-tip on toasted. Where is that, bro? Where though, Jacob? I mean, I want to know where I can get a steak sand right now. I'm a little disappointed that I can't find a steak sand. Where are my questions? Where are my questions? You have a judge, a certified fantasy football professional judge right in front of you, and the questions stop? Here we go. Here we go. We're doing this the last hour of every show. This is a new thing. I thought of it last night. I'm like, why am I not doing this? I've done it before. So get ready to do it. This is where you get your questions answered. Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle. Trade one, play one, sit one. God. I mean, you play Kittle. You reluctantly sit Ayuk. You could go either way on that, and you got to get rid of Debo. If you're forcing me to do this, I can't sit Kittle when he's healthy. And I'm not getting rid of Ayuk and Debo. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. It's okay, Tyler. Should I keep Gaskin or Herbert? 8th round. Both are in the 8th round. Easy call for me. Herbert, top 4 or 5 round pick. In fact, I draft Herbert before I draft Gaskin, and I know a lot of people might think that's crazy because Gaskin escaped the NFL draft. Holy shit, he's got to be good, right? I like Gaskin, but I like Herbert better. Herbert's a fantastic keeper. I picked up Mahomes in the 3rd round, Dynasty. Fantastic, Tyler. Way to waste my time. I thought this was a question. This isn't a question either, J Problem. I have Akers, Gibson, and Sanders. I'm set at the position. Son of a... I have Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, and Kittle at 4. Am I crazy? I have you need a new song. I have Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, and Kittle at 4. Am I crazy? I don't know what this means, Mike. Mike, you're ordered back in court in 1 minute with a reworded question because this is not going to cut it. I have no idea what you're talking about. See you in court in 1 minute or you'll be held in contempt. Smitty, should I open a restaurant and sell steak sandwiches? Also, what is your favorite side dish? Mashed potatoes, yeah, baked potato, loaded baked potatoes. That's a good kid right there. I don't know what this means, bro. I don't know what this means at all. Should I trade Pittman? Okay, here we go. Matt, should I trade Pittman or Higgins plus a future draft capital for D. Hopkins or Julio? No Julio. Pittman, Higgins plus a future first. Yes. I think we already covered that, Matt. Yes. Go. On your way. Go do it. Approved. Question approved. Comment approved. Kamara, Henry, or Zeke full PPR? Bro. Kamara's my number 2 overall player. Henry is in a void at 4 to 5 value, so you can't draft him even close to the same. Henry had a 2,000-yard season. Running backs break from that. I'm not saying he can't overcome the odds and have one more huge year, at least per start, and maybe he misses 3 games, and you still do really well. But avoid Henry anywhere near Kamara's number 2 overall value, and Zeke's a 7 or 8 or 9 overall. Kamara! Should I trade Higgins and a 2022 first rounder for Ridley? Son of a... Why can't I get that kind of deal in my leagues? Of course you should. The only question is, why have you not done it already? Contempt of court. Appreciate all you do, Smitty. Wipe your feet. Approved. Smitty, favorite fish to eat? I don't eat fish, bro. No seafood. Approved. Tight end rankings. Now I got you, bro. Let me go find your question. This is what he's trying to say. Tight end rankings. Okay, now we're speaking the right language here. I have Kelsey. Let's give you a whole new minute. I have Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, and Kittle at 4. Am I crazy? Now I understand you. We're speaking the same language. I would ask you. Yes, I would say a little, not crazy, bro, but I don't have Hawkinson improving. His situation got worse. He got a worse quarterback. He got a quarterback he has no rapport with. They lost their number 1 wide receiver who was stretching defenses and making it easier for Hawkinson. They won't move the football. The Lions are probably, with the Texans, the most capable team of going 0-17. I don't like Hawkinson above Kittle. I don't. I think Hawkinson and Tunyon, and I know people are gonna think I'm crazy about Tunyon like you might be with Hawkinson this year. I liked Hawkinson. No one was higher on Hawkinson than me on record on YouTube videos. Find somebody, I dare you, over Waller or Hawkinson. But no, not at 3. His situation didn't improve. Next up, we got Smith Premium COD. Please raise your right hand. Mark Andrews, Terrence Marshall, and 6 future rookie picks for Pitts and Gainwell. Oh. This thing's hard to flip. It's so top heavy. Oh. I know this is on your dime, bro. I'll give you another minute. There we go. I got it down. I got the weight down. It's a little bit heavy. Yeah, there we go. I got it. There, now I got the flip down. Oh, no, I don't. Hold on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got it. We got it live. Can I do a double flip? Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Mark Andrews, Terrence Marshall, and 6 future rookie picks. Number 1, COD. It's all about the details, bro. You haven't told me what rookie picks you're talking about. Is it a 3rd rounder? A 4th? Oh, yeah, look at that move. Is it a 1st rounder? A 3rd rounder? A 4th rounder? Like, what are we talking about? 6 future rookie picks. I need context, bro. You're ordered back into court in 1 minute with an explanation, or you're held in contempt. We're going to make this hour 1 of every show. This is too fun. Roger, I hope you bring the facts to the table, bro, because this judge doesn't play. You bring in half-truths and half-stories, I get upset. Smitty's getting upset. Dynasty, I traded Kyler Murray and D. Hopkins for Burrow, Mixon in the 1.1. What side do I like better? Murray, Hopkins. I'll give you another minute on this one. Kyler Murray, Hopkins for Burrow, Mixon in the 1.1. I try and trade Mixon while you still can to get like a Lamb value. Trade a future first and Mixon for Lamb, a future first and Mixon for Jefferson, a future first and Mixon for a wide receiver in that variety. Ridley, maybe for a Devontae Smith. Get Devontae Smith. If you've got Burrow, Devontae, and Harris, holy! Insane, bro! Do it. Do it under the assumption that Burrow could be as good as Murray, maybe. And the 1.1, whether you take Chase or Harris, you could take Chase. In time will be arguable to Hopkins for now. Trade Mixon. Make this deal. Move Mixon. Okay. Where are we at? Voice of reason. Akers, Chubb, or Mixon. Trade one, play one, sit one. Son of a... This is hard to... Oh! Time out. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Oh, right in the nuts. Oh. Ah. There we go. Got it again. It's hard to flip this thing. Start Akers, hold Mixon. Or no, I'm sorry. Start Chubb. Oh, this is tough. Start Chubb, sit Mixon, trade. Start Chubb, hold Mixon. Ah! I can't say it. I hit my nuts, man. Really took the wind out of my sails. I can't even speak. Start Chubb, hold Akers, trade Mixon. Son of a bitch. All right. Approved. You know, as you get older, you recover from a nut shot a little quicker. Does that mean that the boys aren't working as well downstairs as you get older and older and older? I remember when I get hit in the nuts, man, I'd be down for a good 10 minutes. Now it's like I bounce back in like 3.5. You know, sometimes 30 seconds. It depends if I only hit one. I don't know if that's good or bad. Tyler's dreams came true. I'm glad. Hurts, long-term QB in Philly. I want to say yeah. Little tap, but the only reason I hesitate is because Philly knows how to screw Shiat up. But I'm going to go single tap. Okay. Jacob. Should I draft Cam Akers at 1.9? No. Next question. Chark or Chenault? You don't draft Cam at 1.9. Let Cam get you upside. Chark or Chenault? Very tough question, Kenny. I'm going to go with Chark because we've seen him rise up to potential wide receiver 1 value. We know the talent is there. He's played well. He finally gets a quarterback. There's no carousel of quarterback garbage. Boom, biggity, boom. Is my package delivered yet? Is my package here? I would like to know if my package has arrived. I've got a keyboard coming. All right. Are we out of hurry up with the questions. Waffles or pancakes? Pancakes with a whole lot of butter and syrup. Easy. Easy call. Austin, I trade away Kelsey for Watson. No! Watson may never play again. Austin, you left out the details. Don't even know if it's a super flex, Austin. How am I supposed to give you a good ruling when you don't tell me all the facts, Austin? If it's a super flex, you consider that kind of move? But no, Kelsey still could be a second round value in a dynasty mindset because he's got 1 or 2 years left. Watson may never play again. And if Watson sits out 2021, which looks very likely at this point, who's to say he steps right back into the level of talent and play that he had before he was taken and removed and raptured from the league? I'm not betting that he returns to form right away, if ever, bro, even if he does play again. But 2021, he looks like he's potentially not going to play. Kelsey. In favor of Kelsey. Better year, Kittle or Waller? This is a very close. This is almost a tie because Kittle gets hurt. Kittle probably outscores Waller per start. Waller, find somebody higher than I on Darren Waller. On video, in writing, time-stamped, triple-stamped, a double-stamped. Find a Waller fan bigger than I. You won't. But, Kittle is elite. Waller is, older tight end emerging. There's, concerns about dip and drop off and the Raiders. I'm not a huge fan of that organization. If they got A-Rod, to the moon, bro. Waller to the moon if they get A-Rod. I'm going to come back and erase this video if A-Rod gets traded to the Raiders because it's boom, yes, if it's A-Rod to the Raiders. But right now, tiny Waller. I changed my mind. Waller the baller. I'm sticking with my boy. I love Kittle, but he's injury prone. I can't trust him for more than 10 games. Waller. What is Javonte Williams' ceiling? High-end running back, too. Kittle is injury prone. Agreed. Will you be comfortable starting Tannehill in a 16-team? No. You should have made better decisions earlier on at quarterback. Don't leave it to Tannehill. I know he played well, but I don't trust him in a dynasty. If it's a redraft, was it a redraft question? Where's this Tannehill question? In 2021. No. I mean, if they got Julio, I'd be more okay with it, but I would have addressed the quarterback spot earlier. If you're in a 16-team league, I'm in a 16-team draft right now, and I took Josh Allen in round 3. And some people don't like that. But you know what? In a 16-team league, you are lucky when you have one of those quarterbacks and tight end especially. I got Tunyon in the freaking 90s, and people laughed at that in this Dynasty 16-team Instagram page league. Okay? I got Tunyon in the 90s, And the little kids laughed at me that I'm drafting with, because Instagram's full of, youngins that start their new page, or 19-year-old kids, and they laughed at my Tunyon pick because Tunyon statistically can't improve upon his high ratio of targets versus efficiency. And so Tunyon, I got in a 16-team steal, and Josh Allen in the third round in a 16-teamer steal. I give myself an approve. I Smitty approve my own stuff. You got Waller, Smitty approved. Who has the better year, Burrow or Stafford or Brady? Those are all close, man. I'm going to say we come back to that. Let's let the offseason develop. You're talking about like a three-way musical chair circle thing you got going on there with this question, voice of reason. I'm going to go ahead and say dismissed. I mean, I hope Burrow, but he's coming off injury, so tough to really know. Who plays first, Watson or Tebow? Tebow. Easy. Easiest question I've got all day. I'm on board with Tunyon. All aboard the Tunyon train. Where is Grant? Where is Grant? Burrow might lead the league in passing attempts if he plays a full season. I like Burrow. My early answer to that question, I approve this message right here, my early answer is Burrow. I think Burrow could outscore Stafford. I think Burrow probably could outscore Brady. My only concern would be the injury, that he's projected to be ready for week 1. And you got to hate that it's not a lock. He's projected, he's on track, it's going to be close. Like, that's the only reason why I hesitate. We got to let the offseason unfold a little bit. But, bro, if Burrow's in there with Chase, Mixon able to run a little more, yes, sir. Imagine taking Tunyon over Hunter Henry, which is hilarious because there's an inside joke between JP and I. I drafted Tunyon, I got made fun of, and then, like, the next tight end taking was Hunter Henry. And it's like, in a dynasty, like, what am I missing? What am I missing? I Smitty approved that. Kenny says, nope, I'm watching the train pass by. Pass by, you mean? Grammar? Kenny? I sent you to school. 6 months of spelling. Thoughts on Freiermuth and Dynasty? Yeah, I mean, like, I like Tunyon more. Get him out of here. Remove him from the building. Sermon or Carter? Woo! Let's get a whole minute for this one. We're good. Sermon or Carter? In 2021, because Leonardo didn't give us any details or context or any kind of things that might help me answer this question, but I actually appreciate it too because I like shorter questions. I hate a whole paragraph. You're not going to get a paragraph on here. I approve Leonardo's style. Never mind. Sermon or Carter? In 2021, Carter's likely going to have, 16, 15, 14 starts. Gonna look really good. We all liked him in the fantasy biz a little bit anyway, and he lands in the second best redraft spot for a rookie running back. Hard to not like or rank or expect more out of Carter. But Sermon is the league winner. We talked about him earlier in the show. Of the two, Sermon per start could be a much higher score. So if you aren't starting Carter anyway, Sermon is the guy, league winner. If you need the player right now, Carter. And the real answer is both. Get out of here! It's both, Leo. This is a trick question. Gus Edwards, Jamal Williams, or rookie from New England? Can't even say his name, can you? You can't even say his name. What is it, Stevenson? What the hell is his name? The New England running... Like, no one even cares because it's New England, and they're going to ruin him. So Gus Edwards, Jamal, or the rookie? Gus Edwards for 2021, I guess, because what makes more sense than J.K. Dobbins not hitting the field as much as we all feel like he should? Disappointment strikes over us, and we see Gus Edwards doing fairly well. I don't know. That feels like the most likely scenario. I don't know about a rookie running back with a crowded running back room. I suppose if you need long-term potential, you don't go Gus or Jamal. You go with the rookie tight end in New England, and you try and trade him. If you're talking about now, I suppose Gus Edwards. But awful question. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're new to the show. Amazing question. Biskin, amazing question. Oh, fantastic. Welcome. I was blasting you because I thought you were a regular. I apologize. Smitty, in contempt. It's only awful because I'm joking. And number two, because, you know, when we talk about kickers or backup running backs or something, we tend to kick it off the show. But you're new, and we're certainly going to treat you with respect. Best question of the day award goes to you. Smitty feeling like a total a-hole. Najee Harris. See, if Voice of Reason would have said that, I would have been like, worst question of the day. Najee Harris, Nick Chubb, or Cam Akers. Who are you drafting first? Honestly, this might shock you. Let's get a whole new minute here. Thumbs up if you're in the room. If you missed it earlier, I hit myself in the... Ow! You draft Chubb ahead and you trade him. The trade value's there for Chubb. Okay? I get that. But do I want Harris more than Chubb? I actually do. And all you Chubb owners out there are gonna lose your crap on that one. You're gonna be like, holy smokes, man, he doesn't like Chubb. He likes Harris, the rookie, over Nick Chubb. I do. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean I'm drafting Harris over Chubb. It means I'm gonna outthink the situation. Okay? Harris has a 2.10 or 3.1, wherever his ADP is going to land. It's not going to be in the same spot it is today. Harris is going to climb as we head into August. Know that in your best ball leagues. But Harris is 2.10, Chubb's 1.7. You figure out what I'm going to do, Voice of Reason. I'm trading down, baby, and I'm going to get Harris cheaper and improve my team all around. Harris over Chubb. Mark it. Akers can net a nice gain. Not a question. Approved. Sermon will be making steak sandwiches within 4 years. If Kenny, you mean Sermon will, if you mean elite production, fantastic fantasy football memories, bonding children and fathers together everywhere in San Francisco, holding hands as fathers and sons skip to the stadium, joyful, steak sandwiches all around. They start producing steak sandwiches in the stadium because people are so excited. Then yes, Sermon will be doing such things. No, my Miss Smitty is named Miss Smitty. Chubb owners be like, correct. Smitty, who you drafting first? Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins. I'm probably on Josh Jacobs right now. I would mute this, but it'd mute me. Basically what I said is we feel bad for you right now. Sports dude. I'm probably on Josh Jacobs more right now. Input, also Justin Jefferson or Michael Thomas. I'm leaning toward Justin Jefferson. Your second part is on point, bro. And because of that, you've got out of trouble today. We're not going to sentence you. We're going to give you a warning on the first part. J.K. Dobbins over Josh Jacobs. Number one. Give the man another minute. Number one. Okay? Number one. Jacobs just saw Kenyon Drake come in and get paid a pretty decent amount to take over the PPR work. Basically, hey, Jacobs isn't getting the job done. Come over here and start. Gruden loves everybody. Gruden might shove Drake in there a ton. Jacobs is a head case. Jacobs went off on a rant against his own fans and followers, flipped everybody off on Instagram mid-season last year, told everybody, he got so tired of fantasy questions, he told all of his followers, sports dude, that he wasn't playing. I think it was like week 8, 9, 10, whatever the hell it was. He told his own followers, I'm not playing, which is not allowed in this courtroom. Fantasy football should be taken seriously. And this dude goes out there and pulls one of those moves. I'm not playing. Then we see him warm up. I know because I'm producing news in the morning. I'm doing live streams. And I say, hey everybody, guess what? Josh Jacobs isn't playing. Making all fantasy football, news wires, everyone upset because he's lying and he's warming up on the field, laughing about the whole thing. I told all my friends I wasn't going to play. I'm going to show them, the guys and girls that follow me. They're going to be real excited about me. So he's a head case. Then everyone goes on a tear. They scream and yell at him. What does he do? He tells people to meet him at the stadium. You know where I'm at. Come to the stadium. Here's the address, bro. You know, trying to instigate people to come down to the stadium. This is the guy that you're going to trust over a breakout like J.K. Dobbins? Yes, we're worried about carries. Yes, we're worried about how they view him. Gus Edwards, why? Start J.K. There's a potential risk here. They may not give J.K. enough work, but he looks good. He's looked good in practice so far. J.K. Dobbins has top 5 to 10 running back appeal. Jacobs has nowhere near that value. He didn't probably at midseason on last year. He especially doesn't now with Kenyon Drake in house. J.K. Dobbins by a mile. Same thing with Justin Jefferson, but you know better on that one, and that's why you, my friend, get a pass today. Yes, came in clutch on the Justin Jefferson. Bro, I love JJ. You can get him at like 3.1. You're not wrong. They're going kind of in the same range. JK and Josh Jacobs aren't even close, though, ADP-wise, I would venture to say. I got an itch. That works perfect. J.K. Dobbins is probably like a round or 2 or 3. I'd say at least 2 rounds ahead of Josh Jacobs right now in ADP. You might be looking at old data, too, if you're doing a mock. But Jefferson and Mike Thomas, you're right, are pretty close. But Jefferson's ceiling, bro. Jefferson could be the #1 wide receiver in fantasy football in 2021. Mike Thomas has been in the past, but I worry about the 2 ligaments or 3 that he didn't have surgery on. I like him in the third, like mid-third value, Mike Thomas. Jefferson. Love him. Love him. Attaboy. Okay, Nev traded Henry for the 1.10. Nev, I hope you mean Hunter Henry. I'm not even a big Travis Henry. Not even a big Derrick Henry believer go forward because of the workload, but I hope you mean Hunter Henry because Derrick Henry had more value than the 1.10. Take him away. Nev, I'm sorry, but you're going to be in the holding cell for quite a while on that one. But I will say, Nev, that you could get very lucky in terms of who falls to you, or you trade up. But I love Carter, but you need to get a whole hell of a lot more for Derrick Henry in a trade. You're not wrong in fearing the decline, but you have to take advantage of fair market value. Fair market value had Henry way above the 1.10, man. My guess is your league didn't like that trade. You can be honest. This is a safe place. I appreciate you, though, bro. I mean that with love. Gus Bus could blow a tire. True. What will give out first, Brady's arm or Chubb's knee? Probably Chubb's knee. I'm very, very critical of high Chubb investing. Look at Newell. Or Newell. Look at me. I don't even know what I'm saying. Why trust me, Nev? I can't even say your name right. Nev with the crying. I don't know if that's the funny crying emojis or the sad crying emojis. I'm going to pretend in my mind that's the fun crying emojis. We're having a good time here. You're having a good time. You're coming back. I didn't run you off. We're on the same page. That's how I'm going to envision these emojis right now. They're typically used in fun fashion, Nev. Back to voice of reason. What will give... We got a few minutes left. What will give out first, Brady's arm or Chubb's knee? Chubb destroyed his knee in college. Destroyed it. If this is your knee, the league in this is very stingy. Well, I would have held on, I think, and let the wheels fall off. Sad crying, Nev said. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad, Nev. But yes, come to me next time. I have HeySmitty.com, bro. It's right here. It's a text service. HeySmitty.com. You can text me on demand. Go to HeySmitty.com and order it. It's a monthly service, and you can cancel anytime. But you and I can chat about this, bro, and prevent that from ever happening again. So we have nothing but joyful emojis flowing from here until eternity, bro. Chubb, here's your knee, okay? Your knee bends like this, correct? Chubb's knee went like this. Can you imagine bending your knee up so that you can kiss your toes? That's what happened to Chubb's knee. I worry about that knee. He also damaged the knee. It was a 2-degree MCL sprain, which can definitely not go away for a little while. It can come back that next year too. It may heal. It depends on how. There's different levels. Like, was it barely a grade 2? Was it almost the severest grade? Or was it just, barely a grade 2? I don't know. But a lot of knee injuries, a lot of worry. Brady, I feel like Chubb at most plays one more year, full year without getting hurt, and then the next year he's kind of banged up. I think Brady can survive this year, so my answer is Brady. I'm new to fantasy. The guy robbed me, man. Bro, let me just make you feel a little bit better, Nev. I'm a professional. I've been doing this 19 years. And I just threw this up in the air and hit myself in the nuts. We all misstep. Like, look at that. I did it again. We all misstep. It's okay. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. You can get taken advantage of. I can't seem to get the weight of this thing. And I'm here to help you. But definitely, if you can, order HeySmitty.com. And we'll text on demand, broski. You know what I'm saying? We'll get you going. We'll get you back. We'll get you right-sized. Approved. I don't know what you're laughing at, but you're approved for being happy. Who plays more games this year, Cook or Julio? I mean, running backs get hurt, but Cook, bro. Julio, I don't have faith in. Cook, I'm drafting top 5. My rankings tell you Cook, bro. Will Julio be overrated in fantasy football? Where do you take him? ESPN ADP has him early 5th round in a 10 team. Look, I don't think 5th round's crazy. I think that's starting to get pretty comfortable. You're talking about a lot of questionable players at that point anyway. So maybe Julio's okay there. But like, if Julio's going as a wide receiver 1 on any level, you see a lot of the nostalgic pages out there, fantasy pages on IG and YouTube channels that are like, Julio Jones, you have Ridley over Julio. Where's my microphone? You have Julio Jones below Ridley? Question mark, question mark, question mark? The worst is when someone emphasizes a very bad point with the double, triple, quadruple question marks. It's almost like when someone argues with you and laughs at you when they're completely wrong and you're just annoyed because they think they're right. It's like the triple question marks. Ridley over Julio? Question mark, question mark, question mark? Or eyeball emoji? Like, as if it's a surprise. Those people are going to be very disappointed in Julio Jones, and that's crazy talk. But 5th or 6th round value? Even I, Smitty, approve that value. Yep, I always get the chance to get Julio at the early 5th round, but CD is always available. Bro, if you're getting CD Lamb in the 5th round, first of all, reserve a spot for me. Okay, I'll be there to draft. CD Lamb is going to, like, sports. I get it, man. ADPs are jacking up a lot of the thinking right now for everybody. and that's good. Sports, you're in the right place because we're gonna hear where CeeDee Lamb's gonna be. Last year, AJ Brown, 4th and 5th rounder. DK Metcalf, 4th and 5th rounder. January, February. What did I say? Get him, get him, get him. Because guess what happened? Guess what happened? Like predicted, they climbed into the 3rd round. Everybody got excited about him. CeeDee Lamb won't sniff the 5th round. CeeDee Lamb won't sniff the 4th round. CeeDee Lamb, you'll be lucky to get CeeDee Lamb in the mid-3rd round in August. Mark my words, we're going to drive this man's value to the moon like the Dogecoin. This is the Dogecoin of the offseason for CeeDee Lamb coin. I'm going to make a Lamb coin. I'm making a Lamb coin. And I'm going to make certain, I'm going to mint a Lamb coin. Okay? We're going to mint a Lamb coin. And it's going to go to the moon. We're going to promote it. We're going to promote a Jefferson coin. We're going to promote a Lamb coin. These coins are going to the moon, baby. And if you're even considering Julio over CeeDee Lamb, shame! Shame! Where's my bell? Where's my bell? Shame! 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 Sports. This is fantastic news for you, sports. CeeDee Lamb, if you see him in any of your leagues in the 4th or 5th round, you clean up. But don't wait. Draft him in round 4. Don't push your luck into round 5. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a top 5 wide receiver, and everyone's going to know about it by August, baby. Okay. That video on CD trading was hilarious. Thank you. Who has more drops, Deontay or Jerry Jeudy? Deontay. Chase coin. We're going to do a chase coin. Sure, we'll do a lot of coins, bro. We'll do a lot of coins. What are some good value 2nd round players? Let's see. What are some good value 2nd round players for rookie dynasty drafts? So rookie only drafts. I'm going to say Sermon. Carter probably won't fall, but bro, I don't know, man. I mean, in some of these conversations I have with people, it's like I don't know what their league's thinking. So make sure Carter doesn't fall there. You know, like there's almost zero chance in my mind that Devonta Smith falls past 5 or 6. That's how my mind thinks. And then people message me and they're like, Devonta Smith's there at 11. And I'm like, what the You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I can't believe it. So I don't know how to answer that because you never know. But I'll say that Carter probably won't be there. But look for him. Carter's top 6, 7 to me. Sermon's top 6, 7. But Sermon oftentimes will be there, Nev. And that's where you get back the thunder, bro. From the trade that you got a little clobbered on. You're going to get back in the mix here by landing some sleepers that I'm going to help you get, Nev. Okay? Nev, first of all, every show that I do, like a live stream, whatever, once it's over, this live chat you're talking in, that won't be the comment section. The comments will be completely emptied out, Nev. Drop me a comment after this. Let's help rework your team. And again, Nev, on-demand texting can be provided to you if you go to heysmitty.com. Cancel anytime. Monthly service, baby. Okay. Top handcuffs. Running back 3-4. Chuba Hubbard now enters the room and the chat. Lat Murray, of course, you know, he's a lesser version of the super handcuff, but he's still kind of up there because of the volume. Then number, so that's like 4 and 3. Then you got Alexander Madison and Pollard as 1 and 2. Pollard and Madison, probably the best handcuffs in fantasy football. Unless you consider Sermon a handcuff to Mostert, then it's all 3. Sermon, Madison, Pollard, with Sermon maybe taking the lead dog role because of the standalone value, broski. He doesn't need an injury to happen. He can climb up on his own. Madison and Pollard have to climb through an injury, whereas Sermon does not. Pollard and Chuba. Evans, Chris Godwin, or A.J. Brown. Okay. This is where things get a little nasty, Desmond. I feel like I gotta be a little tough sometimes to give you a little tough love. Godwin doesn't belong in a second round conversation. He doesn't belong in a third round conversation, bro. Godwin doesn't go in the third round. Mike Evans doesn't go in the third round. You know who goes to the second round? A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the only wide receiver you've mentioned that should even be touching, sniffing, looking at, talking about, gracing, being mentioned near or by or around the second round. A.J. Brown has top 12 to 15 overall value. Neither of the other two do, and only Mike Evans has third, potentially late third round value. I don't even draft Godwin in the third round. I like Godwin. He's got a lot of talent, but you know who also has talent? Odell Beckham Jr. Where the hell's he? Godwin and Odell feel similar in that they disappoint and they don't bring the kind of fantasy production they should be bringing. This is an A.J. Brown conversation. This question should say, Smitty, should I take A.J. Brown, or A.J. Brown in the second round? And the answer is A.J. Brown. The good news, Desmond, is I'm not mad at you, Desmond. This is like the tough grandpa, okay? The tough grandpa or father that comes down on you, tells you to put your coat on, tells you to eat your green beans. When I'm gone, when I'm good and gone, you're going to miss this tough love, and you're going to appreciate that I told you to put your coat on, Desmond, and you're going to go get A.J. Brown in the second round, and you're going to do well in life, my friend. You're going to be successful. Should I trade Jerry Jeudy for CeeDee Lamb in Dynasty? Oh my God, of course you should, but I don't like you not having both. But you have to take it. You have, like, if you get cute, he might pull the offer back. I don't like this. I have two feelings at the same time. I love Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Judy's going to be, I think, a top 12 wide receiver in fantasy, but Lamb's top 5. Go take it. Don't get cute. Bye, Jeudy. I hate saying bye to you, old friend. That one hurt, but I love it. Feel two feelings at the same time. James Robinson used to be projected like a top 20 by ADP after ETN got drafted. He's sitting at 100. I know ETN could hurt his value, but I don't think it's legit. It's legit. He'd fall 80 spots as his. Okay. I know what you're trying to say. And I agree with you. 80 spots is a lot. I like J-Rob anywhere near the flex to fourth running back value. And that certainly feels like this is undervalued for even that context. I feel like J-Rob deserves flex value. Yet, I find myself finding different running backs that I like better than that. So I do think he's borderline flex, but this sounds like running back 5-6 value to me. I approve that. I don't know where that came from, but it just feels right. Who has more? Whoa, this is small. We've got 8 minutes left. Who has more runs for losses or no gains? Derrick Henry or Najee Harris? Bro, that's a tough one. Probably Harris, man. But I do believe that if we look into the missed games aspect of this, Harris will still outperform him in the end. And I know that sounds bold. I know a lot of Henry owners are going to be very upset at me right now. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's full of shit. He's full of that poop stuff. Because this guy, Derrick Henry, is a special breed. He's dominant. He's special. He also has run for 303 attempts in 2019. He ran for 400-ish plus if you include the playoffs last year. That's back-to-back. 303, 400, and then a 2,000-yard season to boot that takes out every running back in history except for Barry Sanders, who Didn't replicate his 2,000-yard season, which isn't saying much because if you have a 1,600-yard season after a 2,000-yard season, that's pretty good. But only Barry Sanders was able to do it. Of the other 7 running backs that have run for 2,000 yards, every other running back has fallen off the face of the earth pretty much. I'm going with Najee to answer your question, but that doesn't mean Derrick Henry doesn't miss a grip of games and disappoints in the end. A.J. Dillon, Zach Moss, Chuba Hubbard, trade 1, play 1, sit 1. Well, I mean, this is pretty easy, bro, because the only one that's going to get playing time is Moss. Moss and trade. Probably trade A.J. Dillon. Or no, probably trade Chuba and keep A.J. Dillon on the bench because, you know, Chuba still got some obstacles. I like him. He's a good handcuff, but so is A.J. Dillon, and A.J. Dillon would likely go in right away. We know what we would get, but I would monitor that one because I do freaking love Chuba Hubbard. Brian, should I draft Akers, Gibson, or J.K. in the second round? Okay, you get a full minute for this one. I don't mind Akers in the second round, depends on where. I don't like Akers in round 1. People going after Akers in round 1 is crazy. It's ludicrous. We're trusting the Rams now? No, we aren't trusting the Rams. Not at that value. Do I like him in the second? Sure. I think that's where all these guys are kind of equal. JK, I like a little bit better, a tad later, if you can, and you might not be able to get him later. Gibson, I love. I feel, if you're asking me, that Gibson's more. I like Gibson more than Akers, and I'm not going to be in the majority. I'm going to be in a small group of people, the minority on this one. Everyone's going to tell you Akers, 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 Akers. And I'm not saying Akers can't do well. I'm not saying Akers is 100% going to fail. There's just a higher percentage of failure in my mind with Akers than Gibson. Gibson gets lots of volume, touchdown opportunities, PPR work. Akers could, but Akers could get screwed. I go Gibson. I have Herbert, Sanders, Gibson, CD, Emmanuel, Sanders, Allen Robinson, Waller, and Ebron. Do you have any suggestions? Keep Herbert. Okay, broski. Top 3 or 4 quarterback this year. Keep Gibson, second round running back. Top 5 to 10 running back. Emmanuel Sanders, I don't even know if he's even in the league anymore at this point, to be honest with you. I think he is, but he's not that valuable. CeeDee Lamb, broski, is a top 5 wide receiver. Nev, do not trade CeeDee Lamb, number 1, because he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver, in my opinion. Number 2, because no one's going to give you what you deserve if you were to trade him. So don't trade CeeDee. Don't go trading for CeeDee in other leagues, though, bro, at that value. You got to get Lamb at an underrated discount. That's the whole point. A-Rob, I trade A-Rob and Miles Sanders if I'm you. Keep Waller, keep CD, keep Gibson, keep Herbert. If I'm you, I go try and trade A-Rob and a future first rounder for Justin Jefferson. I try and trade A-Rob and I don't know, something that isn't Gibson, Herbert, or Waller, and try and go get Ridley. I try and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire using Miles Sanders. Those are some options that you can look at. I think getting that 1.1 using Miles Sanders and something would be interesting. And I also think you should check out like the Tunyon team that owns Robert Tunyon and see if he has like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and you could trade Waller for Clyde and Tunyon, or trade Waller for Ridley and Tunyon or something like that. I think you could get crafty. That's the only way I would step out of Waller. Otherwise, do not trade him. And again, broski, just saying, if you feel you need to get a hold of me, HeySmitty.com. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Nev. I'm kind of kidding. I'm playing off of Sanders having no value. I honestly did for a moment forget where he landed, but I know he's in the NFL. I'm more so joking about that it's forgettable where he is. Trade Sanders and Edmonds for Eckler. I assume you mean Miles Sanders, and if so, I say yes, because I doubt Miles Sanders approved. I doubt Miles Sanders to a degree. I like him if he falls late enough, but Eckler is, and Edmonds I don't believe in that much. I go ahead and make that move. That's a pretty good move. Who has a better year, Ayuk or Judy? I know this is going to surprise some of you, but I think they're very, very close. And most people would say Ayuk's going to crush Judy. But I think Judy has a better career. And I think Judy, because he has some quarterback concerns, it's very hard for me to say he'll beat Ayuk right now. But by the end of the season, I think Judy's firing on all cylinders. And Judy is the better long-term option, even though I love Ayuk. Put your earmuffs on if you're a Niner follower. I don't mean to offend you, but I just love Jerry Judy. Judy. Tie for redraft. Fournette's playoff run legit next season or not? Should I draft him or Kareem Hunt? Oh my God. Yeah, dude, bro. Hunt is a much better option than Lenny. Not saying that it can't happen. Not saying that Fournette can't find relevance and shock the world. He kind of came out of nowhere when we thought his time was done. He had enough opportunities. Then he even kind of failed initially, and then all of a sudden he did well in the playoffs. No, I don't trust that situation at all. Leonard Fournette's certainly someone that I'd roster, but Kareem Hunt is like rounds ahead of him in my opinion. Kareem Hunt's like 4.5 round to 5 round value. Leonard Fournette I wouldn't even touch in the 5th round. Good question, though, because some people have that hesitancy with Kareem Hunt, thinking he's a backup. Even if Leonard Fournette was kind of the starter and Hunt was more of the backup, Hunt gets the volume. Who would you rather keep, Aaron Jones in the 6th round or Kareem Hunt in the 9th round? I think you mean Aaron Jones in the 6th round, not and the 6th round. So Aaron Jones in round 6, Kareem Hunt in the 9th round. Aaron Jones in round 6. I know you're getting more value on paper, by keeping Kareem Hunt later, but the 6th round is enough value that you don't have to worry about the discrepancy there. Aaron Jones in round 6 is enough to give you a huge advantage and take advantage of that bad boy. Next question. Better mustache, 49er Media. Speaking of 49er Media, let's get him in here just to say bye. Smitty, when are you? I guess Media has a better mustache. Smitty, when are you doing a mock draft again? Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet, but soon, bro. We're gonna start coming in hot with the mock drafts. Probably as Mac or Carson Wentz. I don't know. I haven't looked at. I don't look at that stuff. I'm focused on my football, and I don't see a lot of that peripheral stuff. You tell me, broski. When are you doing a mock draft? I got that one. Okay. Hopefully Media calls in to end the show. That's going to do our Judge Smitty episode. I want to thank all of you for participating in that. I think we're going to move that to hour 1. Give me your opinion. Was that the most fun part of the show? I don't know if an hour is too long of that, if it's a half-hour segment. What do you guys say we kick that off for a half hour? Not an hour. Hour was kind of long. Let's say we do a half hour to kick off every show. We do Judge Smitty. I don't know. Or Hey Smitty. We'll call it Hey Smitty. Hey Smitty. Or something judgy. 1 hour for sure. You like the 1 hour. Okay, we'll do our hour 1 for sure. Okay, we'll do the first half hour of every show will be Hey Smitty. I feel like that was pretty good. I feel like that was good content. It's going to be very rewatchable. And I think it gets some good engagement. So 30-minute segment moving forward. We might even do one-off videos of that where it's post-production, not a live stream. where I just, I answer a lot of the mailbag questions. I'll get them from Instagram, so make sure you're following me on IG. Hey, Nev, make sure you're following me on IG. Also, I want to know, do you guys like the shorts that I'm doing on YouTube? Let's get Media in here real quick. Media, what is going on, my man?
What's up?
Oh, perfect contrast. I love it. I don't even know if you're there. It's amazing.
Do we wanna dunk before we
We do want to dunk, Media, but real quickly, because we are ending the show here. Any thoughts? I'm gonna bring to the quad box a very, very aggressive take, and I'm not gonna talk too much about it. You might already kind of know where I'm headed with it, but I'm gonna keep it low key. Okay. But I'm gonna come in hardcore with a Niner take on Friday, and I'm gonna be pretty aggressive.
All right.
I can't even see you. This is amazing. Okay, so I love your contrast. I think. Okay, let's see you dunk. I want your feet in the air when you're dunking. I don't want any contact with the ground while the dunk is taking place. That's travel. That's a travel.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and I want you to do. Can you do a 360 where you're in one place and you jump and do a spin around and dunk?
I could try that, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Everybody go follow 49er Media on Instagram.
Here we go.
And by the way, everyone said you have a killer mustache.
Alright, we'll do the 361 first.
Yeah, buddy! Yeah!
Okay.
That was like a windmill 360, bro.
Yeah, you said the one between the legs, right?
I didn't, but go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Any final Niner thoughts, bro? Are you any closer to Trey Lance starting week 1 than you were a week ago?
No, I'm not. I still think that we won't really know anything, I feel like, until training camp and, like, I think further into training camp.
Yeah. I do believe that to be true, only because I think that they've got to make him earn the respect, Like, you can't.
Yeah, they're definitely not handing it off.
Yeah, they got to make him. But
if Trey Lance, just somehow balls off and presses, like, he may become the starter.
Like if he starts playing like you're dunking, then that's what do you do? You can't deny somebody that kind of that kind of ability. All right, so yeah, it's quad box. Look for an aggressive stance. My rap video will be coming soon. For those that don't know, I'm going to create a rap video. It's called Trey to the Mother Effing Bay. And it was not my Instagram video. That was something different. But it will be to that quality, if not better. So just get ready for it, Media. All right, any final thoughts? Give the people a 30-second rant of any kind. Go.
I actually wanted to talk about that video you put out. It was pretty funny. I liked it. Yeah.
The Heisenberg?
Yep.
San Francisco fans, you know how I feel. We've got Trey Lance, motherfucking, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I feel, I'm fucking feeling good.
Heisenberg, baby. All right, anything else?
No, I'm just excited for camp and to see how all of these rookies do for the first few days, because that's basically what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And then the veterans will start coming in.
Yeah. Do you think how many games does Kittle start in 2021?
I hope all 17, but I'm gonna say like 10.
Ayuk outperform Debo by quite a bit, or what do you think?
No, I think it could be pretty close actually, but I know some people do, like some of the Niner community does still think Debo's the #1 receiver, which I don't agree with.
I don't.
Ayuk's the clear #1. Like Debo obviously is still amazing. Like there's nothing to knock about Debo, but
yeah,
maybe beside injury.
I mean, if Debo's in the chat, I've been in a couple Clubhouse chat rooms with him. If Debo's ever in the chat, he's my number one San Fran wide receiver until he leaves the room, and then I say Ayuk. But I'll never admit that to
sorry,
Debo's
Debo,
face.
Debo, if you're somehow watching this.
Debo, if you're watching, you're my boy, Blue. Okay, I'm out of here, media. I appreciate you. Thank you for the dunk. It was fantastic. Give us one more dunk, and then we're gonna boot you. Give us something we've never seen before. Something special.
We gotta do a super.
Oh, foot on the bed. I like it. All right, media. Appreciate you, man. Later.
Yep. All right.
That's media. Go follow him. 49er Media. 49er Media on IG. He's got like over 20,000 followers. He's my one of my Niner resources on Insta. You know, Dr. Raj is my number one. Always will be my number one. Dr. Raj is over 130K. Go follow RSF 49ers. RSF 49ers. Go follow C-Mac. Go follow C-Mac. Let me give you their handles. Are
San Francisco.
C-Mac, his handle is C-Mac's 49er Fire. Go follow him. And go follow Vlad. Vlad, I never remember Vlad's handle. It's Vladimir B. Guntz. I don't know how he says his last name. Go follow all my boys. That's my quad box crew. All right, until next time, I'm your man Smitty, and we'll be doing this Thursday. We got a day in between. Eventually, we're going 5 days a week. I don't know when that will be. Once the show gets bigger, stronger, faster, bolder, bigger, we'll be going 5 days a week. But I don't know if it'll even be this year. Kind of depends on how many people you all tell. If you get the word out and the demand is there, you could be darn sure I'm going 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. Is this not enough for you? Spread the word, hit the thumbs up on the way out the door, and because these videos start off with 0 comments, I better see a bunch of you commenting on the video once it publishes right now. Ask a question. Nev, I want to see you there. Voice of Reason. Kenny, Matt, Brian, all of you. I want you to comment when the video's over. Thumb up, comment. It helps the show. Later.